It's so weird only streaming now like every once in a blue moon. I don't miss necessarily how it used to be. It's just weird.
You're weird.
I am weird.
And that's a compliment.
I just
Wait,
has
hold up.
many things to do.
Oh.
All right, stream is up. Session 40. Wow.
We out here.
Hard to believe.
It's weird because it's like, oh, only 40 sessions, but that accumulates
Look at
to...
how far we've come, guys. I've been here the whole time.
Of course.
That would be a funny side session of like one session where we just like, we're going to take a look back at the last 2 years. What was Pipwick actually doing in town?
Listen, we are the campaign of gaslighting. We can just gaslight that he was here the whole time.
He was here the whole time, yeah.
The whole time.
You found one what? What did you find?
I have message as a cantrip, and I can change that to massage once a day.
Oh.
God, yes.
How would that work?
That's up to Neon.
It's like mage hands just appear, one on each shoulder, and just start giving him a shoulder rub like the character from How I Met Your Mother. Oh, that's too funny. I can cast massage once a day.
I'm gonna be so loose, ready to go.
I'm sorry, what the fuck did I come back to?
You missed it. You missed the description of the spell thing.
I came back to I'm gonna be so loose and ready.
I mean,
You know what? We'll leave that one open to interpretation.
yeah, you can have that as is.
Oh my gosh.
Rules as written. That's what you get. Ring of Grammar.
I don't want that one.
Oh man.
Wait, what? What's the original for that?
What?
Like, Ring of Grammar is obviously changed, but...
I think it's just. I mean, the ring he sent me is basically just a kind of a homebrew item.
Ah, fair.
No, that's an actual item.
Wait, hold up. It is?
Ring of the Grammarian is an actual item.
You're hold on. Is it like oh my gosh, words.
How
Is
do you
it
spell grammarian?
I'm pretty sure it's an actual item.
hold on.
It might have just been from Adventure Zone, but I'm pretty... Maybe it's not.
I don't think that it is.
I've used it so many times I thought it was a legitimate item. I
mean,
give it
that's-
out like it's fucking candy.
I mean, that's fair, but let me look real quick. See if I can pull it up in my my doodle bob here. Yeah, that's what I'm looking. Oh, it's not? Okay.
No.
No, I started digging into it too, and I was like, maybe it's not.
Okay, but I mean, that's a really easy item for me to just build in Foundry. I mean, it'd take 3 minutes. The longest part of that is the typing. Like, it's really not even that big of a deal. Let me do this real quick.
Oh, before we're getting started, I'll be like 2 seconds.
Would that be classed as equipment, or would that be classed? Let's see. Hold on. Equipment, feature, tool,
Rings,
weapon.
I guess, is a ring.
Well, I don't have that as an option in Foundry. I have consumable.
Type ring should be available.
No, to create an item.
Oh yeah, it's
in Foundry.
equipment.
It's equipment. Okay.
Yeah, it's an equipment.
Yeah.
And then subcategory.
Oh, I have so many ideas now.
That's one of those items that isn't wildly game breaking, but is hilariously funny.
Because you can only use it once a
Until you
day.
realize a really good typo, and then it suddenly becomes a
Well, yeah, I guess in that description, sure.
But it's also one of those yes and or
Yeah.
no but
Exactly.
items. Like, sure, I can turn sending into mending, but like I'm not actually casting mending. So what does it do?
Yeah, exactly. be better if I
No,
could
yeah,
actually-
one of the big uses that I had for it in another campaign was you would use it, like I would have mending, and I would use once a day to cast sending, so that I could fucking actually like talk to people.
That's actually really clever.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that makes more sense because
Yeah.
mending is a cantrip, where sending is a 3rd level.
Yeah.
It's a free sending spell right there. Okay, why am I not finding this? This is ridiculous. Good grief. Are we still... I did... Melon stepped away for a second, right?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Melon is muted.
I need to find an image of what this ring would look like. Is it an ornate ring or is it a simple ring?
It's a simple ring.
Oh, here we go. I got it. This one has little rune symbols on it. Perfect. Finally found some decent music.
Why are all the items that I have? Oh, because I right-click edit instead of right-click view. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, why do all my items open in edit mode?
All right, that was real easy because it doesn't technically do anything except, like, it's, yeah, that's awesome. So then we're going to go over here and we're going to make a folder. There you go. If it needs any fine tuning, you can you can deep dive into it and tweak it as needed. Or if you want to play around with like all the macros, and not the macros, but like all the automation in the back end, you can do that too. All right. Jeez, Riggsy, I just glanced at the Discord chat. That escalated. Lord. Ooh, why is this laggy? What the heck? It's weird. My Foundry is like moving at a very slow frame rate, and I can't figure out why. Huh. All right. Well, I think we're still waiting on Melon, right?
According to the VC, they're back. Just no word for a moment.
All right, we'll give it a second then before we go any further.
Although, Melon did unmute, so... Oh, nope, never mind. I said nothing!
Oh, okay, so we're good. All right, cool. Then in that case, we'll go ahead and get the recap out of the way.
Yeah.
So, as clarified, we do not have Jesse with us tonight. Jesse is doing school stuff, if I'm not mistaken. However, last time we left off, you guys had spent some time at the Lucky Tankard, kind of figuring out your next game plan. Digging not only into the curiosities of Tippy and the situation she now finds herself in, but also some discussions around the table. Some potions were tried that led into a very polite conversation, however tense it may be. Cassivus gave you some, not direction, but suggestion that maybe you could find some more information on this strange gemstone, Tippy's condition, and potentially the source of these creatures that had attacked everyone in his den by heading off to the University Arcanum in the University Road District and potentially finding some information there, as well as a printing house that would help with Pipwick's side quest of trying to print some posters and pamphlets to help bolster his upcoming campaign, which there was also a printing press in the University Road District. You guys as a group gathered up, Caspus went off on his way, and the rest of you wandered westward into the University Row District. There you did find the printing press. You also found two young individuals, two students, that helped you find the printing press, and talked to the proprietor of that business, came to an arrangement on a deal, and then headed out. From there, you went across the street to the library, thinking that that would be the next logical place to find some information on your queries. In the main lobby or the foyer, I should say, of the library, you did meet with the librarian, an elderly elven woman with like ink-stained fingers from going through book and tome after tome and book and scroll for who knows how long. She did give you some direction onto some of these stacks and rows within the library that could hold some of the information you all were seeking. And the last we basically left off, if I have my notes correctly, Rhea, you had headed off being accompanied by Dax and Scorch to the section in the... oh, I guess I didn't write down what section you were in. But anyways...
I believe we were going for...
So I have sections
some
for...
of the knowledge on chaos magic.
Oh, I have that part. I thought I wrote down an actual, like, stack section. I did for Grigor and Kyria, but I guess I didn't write down one for you. Anyways, the section you headed up to was basically one stack, one row of books. It was the only one in the entire library that she believed would have any relevant information on chaos magic or chaotic magic and its history within the entire scope of Valerian, but more focused on the continent of Adalia. Grigor, you had headed off to a lower section on the ground floor to just kind of dig into the basic arcane studies. And that's a very wide description of things to be looking for, but she kind of pointed you in sort of a very introductory sort of direction to 6 different rows that are all in line with each other. And then Kyria had been sent off to look into resurrection magic and the side effects that undead creatures usually find themselves in 2 different sections on 2 different floors. While Kyria has wandered off to do that, okay, I thought I was gonna be able to do this. My contacts are not cutting it. I might need to go put my glasses on. I feel like I'm blinking every 4 seconds, so I need to go put my glasses on. But before I just disappear for 13 seconds to go do that, be thinking about what sort of specific questions each of you, well, specifically Rhea and Grigor, would be asking. And then also, Pipwick, you had mentioned you were very loud in the foyer. If you want to elaborate on how loud you are, let me know. Otherwise, you're just standing around. Talina, I know that you're kind of more or less on guard duty in the foyer. And then Tippy, you're kind of meandering. Mm-hmm. If Tippy, Pipwick, Talina, and Dax can think about what you'd be doing while the other 2 are doing hardcore research, think about it. Let me know as soon as I get back. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see my screen.
That was a really bad roll for Neon.
See, this is why I appreciate Past Ty. He sometimes put notes in Foundry as a whisper to me. Thank you, me from 2 weeks ago. I know exactly what I was going to ask the librarian.
I don't quite remember what I was looking for, but I do remember I was studying chaos magic, and it's probably for at least 2 reasons. So, chat, how are we?
Have chat? Oh, we do have chat. Hello, chat.
Yeah, we do have a chat. We're the entertainment right now. Well,
We are.
really always. Intermission time.
I don't know
Right.
about you, but I've kept counting to 30. Oh, there he is.
I'm right here.
I just keep thinking of funny words to make out of changing one letter.
Oh no.
Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Okay, so before I dig into the research portion, let's go down the list here. Dax, what is Dax and Scorch up to whilst accompanying Rhea on her fact-finding mission?
That is a great question. And said question will be answered via Dax is talking with Rhea if she seems like she's in a talking mood. If not, she's also skimming the books looking for anything that might be helpful.
Okay, so I'll
Scorch is just
talking
kind of-
mood.
okay.
And Scorch is just kind of walking behind her, kind of like just sniffing around since it's a new place.
Oh, yeah, lots of smells. Okay, so I will say for the purposes of that, then when we get to the research portion with Rhea, that you're kind of more or less a part of that. That'll make that a little bit easier. Pipwick, what are you doing that is so loud?
So I rolled.
Oh, Lord.
I'm speaking at 100% of my normal volume.
No.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I'm like at the counter. So, you got any books that can teach somebody how to read?
All you see is she you hear like slam down as her hands hit the desk behind the counter, and she stands up. She's now standing up so she can see you over the top of the main counter of this reception desk, and she just holds. She doesn't even shush. She just holds one of her ink-stained fingers to her lips, and just looks at you. And in a voice that is much quieter. You are trying to learn to read?
Yeah, I don't know how to read.
Are you? I assume you're still loud.
Oh, yeah.
And she puts her hand like more aggressively up to her lips, and you're hearing the echo just bounce. And even you guys that are out in the stacks of books hear his voice echoing through the chambers. If you'll lower your voice, I will direct you to where you need to go. Please.
Oh, so sorry. You don't have signage.
It's implied it is a library, but
Never been in one of these before.
that doesn't surprise me. One moment. And she sits back down and she does that thing where she goes over to like basically the equivalent of a Rolodex, and you hear it and stop as her hand makes it to it. She pulls out a card, looks at it. I don't know how you're going to manage this if you can't currently read, but there are picture books in that section. And she points, and there's a right in the main entryway. So the two doorways on either side of her desk that lead into the main library. Right inside of it, there's a section kind of off to one side, and it's like less than one row's worth of books. It's like not even that many, and it just says children's in common above that. Which can Pipwick not read at all, or cannot? It just struggles with like big words. Like,
He can make the sounds. So
he can make the sound. Okay.
Yeah, it takes a pretty painful amount of time.
So you just see to the section she's like leaning and pseudo pointing at through the doorway. Says, "Try there."
Thank you. And I do one of those like Scooby-Doo tiptoes away to the section.
Roll me a stealth check.
Yeah, dude.
Tyrope, that's the perfect gift for that.
Yeah, that was the whole bit.
All right, you got a... Oh, that's weird. I didn't see it
11.
pop up. There we go. Okay. An 11. With an 11, as you like start into this like tiptoe Scooby-Doo one leg at a time, all you hear is as your shoes squeak against the hard marble floor, all the way across the room. Perfect squeaks every step.
Perfect.
Talina,
I'm now looking at the picture books.
Yeah, you watch him do this pathetic attempt at sneaking across this room and just squeak, 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 squeak every footstep all the way across the room, and it just echoes through the space. Okay. With Pipwick's attempt at that, next on my list, Talina, are you just lingering quietly in the foyer, or is there anything in particular that you would be doing in this space?
Is the entire party out of earshot?
With Pipwick walking into what is effectively a children's book section, yes.
Then I'm queuing up to the librarian / just at her desk if there's no queue.
No, there's no one else in the room. Yeah.
Neat. I'm going to ask her if she's heard or has knowledge of magical gemstones / minerals that may or may not be similar to Tippy's, without mentioning specifically that I've seen one.
So are you asking if she has knowledge, or if she knows of books that have knowledge?
If she has knowledge or knows where
Okay.
where I can find things about it.
Sure. And what exactly? So just one more time for me. Describe what Talina would describe as far as the gemstone's concerned.
Okay, Ty forgot the color of it. Remind me.
It is a. Let me make sure I don't get this wrong. 1 second.
I know the energy that came off it was a sickly green, but
Yeah, let me make sure I describe this correctly, because obviously. Where is it? There it is. Oh, well done, Neon. He didn't write it in his notes section. We love that. Hang on.
did you write it in Tippy's inventory?
Actually, I may have. Let me double check that. Because I
Sounds like the best place to put that.
well, I have it in my OneNote. I just have to go find it. I thought I'd have it in my Vivid World, but I don't have it there. Which I don't understand why I don't have it there, but I don't. Wait a minute. Did I not? Oh, there it is. I was like, I know I put it in here. Okay, there it is. It's like, I'm not that blind. Okay, so you would have so whatever you describe is up to you, but what you would have visually seen is a jagged fragment of a pale ash gray crystal streaked with veins of a soft tan color resembling bone. It was it would have given off a chilled like when you were near it. It was basically ice cold, so it would given off a slight cold feel to it. And every once in a while, you'd catch this slight pulse of faint, very like transparent, swirling necrotic greenish mists that kind of fade off of it, spin, and then like suck back into it.
So I would describe the stone as a jagged, like granite. No, not quite granite. That's too dark. Marble's too bright. I'm looking for something in between. Anyway, you know, like a brain not working, but like a rock type that is roughly that color, like common. That has like maybe some bony veins to it and gives off bad vibes, but not going into specific like about the glow of the rock or what vibes.
Okay.
Definitely not mention that it's super cold to the touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check something real quick.
Not initially, anyway.
Okay. I keep going to grab a physical dice, and I don't have them at my desk here. It's weird.
Oh no.
How dare!
It's because I keep them all in my box of in-person D&D stuff, just for sake of not making a mess, and because of that. Okay. So you describe this gemstone. She kind of cocks her eyebrow up, but she kind of like, you realize she's thinking, and she's like, not certain I've ever heard of such a stone, but can you give me more information on its origin or anything of that, or is it just you curious about an item of its make?
I'm trying to learn about its origin, so I couldn't exactly give you that one.
Fair enough. But all right. Let me look. And so this time she goes over to her little Rolodex. Her hand kind of slides over it, and it spins for quite a lot longer. And she stops, lets her hand back. It spins again. She grabs something, pulls it out, looks at it, puts it back. Does this several times. Finally pulls one out, looks at the number, kind of looks back at you and says, "The only thing I might be able to offer is we do have a section on archaeological finds and geological finds. Seeing as that it's stone, that would be the first thing I would suggest. However, I can't promise they'll have exactly what you're looking for. I mean, it's up to you if you'd like to give it a whirl."
Would that also cover magical finds?
Well, she goes, that's a good point. She goes back and pulls a different one out. So this section has a lengthy and diverse record of magical items that have been cataloged throughout history. That might be an option there, but it wouldn't be targeted on stones or gems of any kind. That's not to say you won't find them in there. It's just that you'd be sifting through archives and whatnot of everything from swords and torches to, well, amulets and gemstones.
That second one probably sounds more promising, but I'll note them both down just in case I don't find it there.
So she gives you 3 sections, and one is basically geological finds, one is archaeological sites and recoveries and records, and then another is kind of a diverse catalog of histories of magical items that have been discovered or created or cataloged throughout history. And they're all actually kind of near each other. They're all on the ground floor, so you don't have to go upstairs, but they're all kind of more or less near each other with a little bit of scattered distance between them, but not too bad.
I'll go and browse in that rough direction.
Okay. So you head into the main chamber and start heading towards those sections. And then the last question I had was Tippy. You said that Tippy was kind of meandering through the library. Anything particular Tippy would be doing, looking for, or watching out for?
I think she was looking for like spell scrolls that are useful.
Ah, okay. Do me a favor. Roll me. Are you meandering or are you actually like looking?
A bit of both.
Okay, you can roll
Like,
me. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like for sections that don't look like they have them, she's just wandering. But the moment she gets to ones that look like there could be, that's when she really starts looking.
Okay. Do it this way. I want you to roll me a perception check, please. This is vision based. If you have any modifiers for that. No, there's not a donkey inside the library, for the record.
We need 12.
Okay, so with a 12, what you are able to deduce as you kind of meander through the different floors of the library, is that there does not appear to be any open spell scrolls anywhere in this library. What you're able to determine is this library has tomes of historical accounts and biographies and history and general knowledge, but there's no written a written spell instructional document. There's no spell scrolls or spell books of that nature. With a 12, you do find this after a little bit of meandering, and you basically get the inclination that it's probably somewhere on the university grounds, whether here at the library or over in the University Arcanum itself, but more than likely, those sort of documents or spell scrolls probably would be in the hands of like either in a private section or actually in like somebody's possession, like some of the instructors or professors would probably have those documents. They wouldn't probably be just anywhere that a student could walk up, grab it, and know how to cast a spell. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you so much for the resub. Rhea, we're going to start with you because I'm just going through my list here in chronological order. You headed to the stacks that were directed to you to dig into the very limited knowledge about chaos magic or chaotic magic. Dax is helping you because she's tagging along and kind of looking over your shoulder and stuff. Although I just realized Melon said BRB, so I assume...
I just got back.
Oh, perfect timing. Okay. So since Dax is kind of helping you with this, you can roll. I want you to roll me a. Hold on. Brain went kaput. Give me a second. I want you to roll me a.
Okay. I do remember that the librarian at the front had pointed and noted the section to go to. I just don't remember what it was.
No, yeah, you found the section. You got there. I guess I didn't write down a number for you, which doesn't make sense, but I didn't. So that's on me. But it doesn't matter. You found it. You know where you're going. I need you to roll me a intelligence check, please. you can make it at advantage because Daxori is more or less helping you, kind of looking over your shoulder, reading things with you, etc.
Okay. Just a flat intelligence or
Yes.
anything particular?
No, this is just an intelligence check.
Advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That was so close.
That was pretty good. Okay.
That was so close.
With an 18, you spend some time reading through the very limited selection of books that are here. There's not, as she already indicated, there's like less than one full row's worth of documentation or historical record on any form of chaos magic. She kind of implied it's due to its quite bluntly chaotic nature that there's not a lot of documentation on it. But as you read through some of these books and historical records, you realize, one, very few records exist at all. It's not so much that people won't write about it, it's just they don't write about it. But what you also figure out during this process is that part of the reason of that is because it's, one, very unstable, kind of, duh, based on the name, but it's also because the few people who would have written about it, who dabbled with it, have disappeared or died off. There's very few people left in modern existence that know anything about it, and so therefore there's just little record of it. You do find, throughout the course of your reading, you find a list that you're able to compile a list basically across several books of several practitioners throughout recorded history that have either at one time dabbled with chaotic magic or actually kind of were like becoming either obsessed with it, becoming sort of a known knowledgeable figure on such magic, etc. The names that you're able to kind of deduce from your studies with an 18 is Veilun the Unmoored, which was from the era of Unity. And this particular caster basically believed that chaos magic was a raw script of creation and basically was lost to history after trying to dive into mapping it almost like they would constellations, and just kind of got lost in it and was lost to the annals of history. No one really knows what happened to them. The second person that you're able to figure out from the pre-Sundering era is Saressa Thornwhisper. This individual was using chaos magic to actually heal blighted crops and sick children, but the spell kept twisting her body more and more, and after some period of time, mysteriously disappeared. The next individual that you learned about was Corinne Duskbrand from the War of the Gods around that era, and this particular person was actually trying to twist chaos magic into using it in combat, and was attempting to twist it into battlefield-wide detonations. Was actually trying to basically use chaos magic to form a sort of mine that collapsed into a pocket dimension. And unfortunately, one of those there was eyewitness accounts of this happening. It backlashed, and this particular mage basically died violently in one of these spells, imploding and sucking everything in and around it and leaving nothing behind. The next one that you read about is the Twins of the Fractured Veil. However, there's no details on, you were unable to figure out, this is more of a myth. This wasn't so much like an eyewitness account. This was more like a bedtime story sort of deal. And all the stories of these two twins contradict each other. There's no hard evidence as to who these individuals were and what they actually did. The only thing that was really concrete was that they were siblings. However, there was rumors that they shared a soul, and the chaos magic was basically actually sort of formed, basically took one individual and split them in two. And so it was rumored that they were one soul splitting two bodies. There's one that had the inverse story, that it was two split into, that there was two individuals that shared one soul. Basically all these conflicting stories, and therefore there was no beginning or end to this story. That one seemed more fictitious than anything. The next you read about is Master Eldron of the Shifting Quill from the Age of Rebirth. And this one, you note, was trying to document known chaos magic spells and trying to actually put together a written catalog of this. And however, it was being reported from his colleagues that Master Eldron began forgetting basic words, then his own name, then his memories. And one morning they went in to check on him, and all it was found was his robes neatly folded, but he was nowhere to be found. He vanished. And due to this, a lot of his work was erased from history. The next you read about is Tharzoon Quibblemarch, who is from the Age of Rebirth. And this individual was known as being very eccentric, very head in the clouds individual, was actually known in that time as kind of a mythical figure, because he, instead of his wizard tower being one of kind of distance from society or anything like that, it was actually a floating wizard's tower that kind of flew through the land, and every once in a while people in various cities would spot it and know that he was in the area. And the only written accounts of what he was up to was that he was trying to develop new spells by twisting regular arcane abilities with chaos magic, and was essentially trying to do something most practitioners couldn't do, which was not only transport himself through time and space, was actually trying to transport himself and his entire wizard's tower through time and space back in time. And unfortunately, after some time, people realized they hadn't seen him in a long time, and his wizard's tower just vanished, and there was never any record of where he went, what happened to him, or any further record of that. And the next one you read about is Dargan Flintvane, which this is actually the only dwarven practitioner that you read about. And Dargan basically had found this stone. He called it a singing stone deep underground somewhere, and he tried to harness the power from it, and it exploded. And it fused his soul and body with the caverns there, wherever this particularly was. Because this was translated from Dwarvish into Common, there's a lot of elements that didn't translate properly, and the story feels a little haphazard and jagged, and feels like there's some gaps in it. But kind of the myth at the end of it is that he became one with this massive tunnel system somewhere up in the mountains, but it doesn't specify which mountains. And the last one you read about is called the Red Mask from the Arcane Age, which is a little more modern, and that this was some sort of vigilante sorcerer that was trying to use chaos magic to disrupt corrupt nobles and teleporting into vaults, kind of like a Robin Hood figure, essentially, and was trying to use chaos magic to get a leg up. However, this is the only one that you read about that doesn't seem to have any sort of presumed ending to this creature or this person. Basically the information kind of implies that they're probably still alive somewhere, but no one's seen or heard from them in a long time, and is unsure of where their last known location or where they might be. So
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna need a copy of most of that detail.
Yes.
I was able to write down some of it, but as soon as you got the Quibblemarch, I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Also, as soon as Rhea would brush across that one, noticeably perked up with attention.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, basically, like I said, it was... I mean, do you want me to reread that one again, or did you get it?
That one particularly, because I did get a little stuck.
So with that one, as you're reading through the different literature, you double back to the one on Tharzoon Quibblemarch, and you kind of read into it a little bit more, and what you're able to deduce is that this particular wizard, and it was confirmed that this gentleman was a wizard, is from the Age of Rebirth, which, as you would know, was several hundred, if not several thousand years before your current time. He had a reputation for being eccentric, kind of a head in the clouds wizard. He was rumored to have a flying wizard's tower, which was then later confirmed. He always had kind of a quirky disposition to himself. Basically, he was considered a very powerful practitioner and was renowned for inventing powerful new spells and eccentric magical ideas. He was then later known for his flying tower that would be seen floating through the skies above Adalia, all over the continent. However, several centuries ago, his tower was no longer seen anywhere, and he's not been seen or heard from since the rumors spread that he was trying to undertake one of the more ambitious attempts of his magical career, which was slicing a hole through the material plane and moving his wizard tower through time and space and plane, and take him and his tower back in time to the dawn of life to answer the biggest mystery of Alarion of how we all got here. And then he was never seen again.
In Hellrhea's mind and kind of focusing towards her ring, how true is all of this?
It's always comical to me how people get history wrong, but it's not that inaccurate.
A floating tower.
What do you think I'm living in now?
can't believe it's much better.
No, I mean, that's quite literally where I am. I'm sitting in my tower right now. It's just...
Oh.
I'm more or less floating in the ether. It's a little... You look out the window and it's not as pretty as it used to be. But, you know, I still have my space.
Fair enough.
For the record, in case you missed it, the spell didn't work.
Oh, I picked up on that. And as she's like responding in her mind, she's closing that said book.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I didn't write down the time periods of most of these, but like I got their general ups and downs and what happened with them.
Okay.
What they were looking for.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole point, is just kind of get an overlay.
Knowing all of that, Rhea's interest is piqued on this topic. And, yeah.
Okay.
Might be trying to do whatever she can to dabble into things. Anyway. So during all of that scholarly intrigue, she's basically sitting at one of the tables and going through however many books in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask what Dax was doing while she was trying to help her.
That is a very good question. I'm so happy you asked. Let's see. Dax was most likely, she was just kind of browsing the section. I know you said, Neon, it was not even half a row.
It was not
or
a
not
whole
even
row.
a full row.
Yeah, it was
not
very,
even
very
a full
short.
row. Yeah, so she's kind of just browsing the rest of the area just to see if she can see any books that may have not been put back into their proper section, as someone may have taken it and then didn't put it back into the chaos magic section.
All right, so you're missing for gap. You're looking for gaps in the stack.
Yeah, but she's also kind of looking through the names of books that are on the shelves nearby and stuff like that.
Sure.
Just like I said, looking to see if there's anything that's out of place.
Okay, roll me an investigation check.
I'm doing physical dice. I need to pull up my sheet.
Neon, just for reference, I don't actually have a notebook, but I would believe Hellraya has one. I would have tried to write some stuff in there.
Yeah,
However
that's fine.
You want me to deal with that?
No, yeah. Realistically, if your character would have some sort of a, that's something that I'm perfectly fine to just kind of assume that you'd have on your person, unless there's I wouldn't assume Pipwick. My gosh, the goblin would not have one. However, it would make.
I have a name, damn it.
I know. I just can't spit it out. I just. What?
The short one, right? That's his name. The short one.
What is that? What's in it?
I think he's talking to Miss Neon.
Yup. The missus came into the room.
Yeah, she's having me try.
I Miss Neon.
They're all saying.
Hello.
Yep. She said hi back.
He tried one swallow of the smoothie I made and grimaced so hard.
I think it's the yogurt.
Oh no!
It was very tart and it threw me off. Yeah. Love you. Yeah, I would assume that Pipwick wouldn't
Make him
have a
sleep
notebook.
outside.
No. I would assume that Pipwick wouldn't have a notebook, but it would make 100% sense for Hellraya to have one. So if you want to even add that as an item in your inventory, you can do that.
I'll just add a quick little
not a
notebook
problem.
to her inventory.
What did you get on that investigation check?
I got 19.
With a 19, as you're kind of perusing the stacks along with Hellraya, and you realize, okay, out of this row we're standing in, one side is where the Chaos Magic books are, and the other side is a completely different topic. But what you notice while Hellraya is very enamored with whatever book is currently in her hand, the one that she was just reading, you notice that some of the books to the right of that book are leaning against each other a little farther, indicating that there may be a book missing or two missing from this section.
Dax would walk over and she would look at the section where she would see maybe one or two books missing. And was it the chaos magic section or was it a completely different section?
It was the chaos magic section. It was like if Hellraya was standing looking at the stack while she's looking at the book in her hand, it'd be immediately to the right of her in the books that would be of the topic. But there's clearly a gap where some books have fallen over. And it doesn't look like there's a gap because the books are leaning against each other, but you, with a 19, are able to determine, wait a minute, these are all perfectly aligned with each other. These ones are toppled over a little bit, indicating that there's a space there.
She would look at the two. She would look at the name of the two books that are leaning over real quick, just to kind of see what they are.
Oh, the ones that are like the ones that are left?
Yeah, so the two that are, you said that are leaning.
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna briefly look at them, look at the names to kind of get a sense of what may have been next to them.
Like if there's any sort of order to these.
Yeah.
What you're able to determine with a 19 is that this section, because it is rather small, it's been moved around a few times and nothing is in any sort of order. And the two books that happen to be leaning over, one of them has to do with the history. It's like a fairy tale book, and it's the one that you noticed Hellraya had read about the twins of the fractured veil, and it was in this book as like a mythical story. And then the other one, was like more of a book on chaos magic and its nature of being highly unstable and very rarely used and shouldn't be attempted by practitioners and such, kind of realizing these books have nothing to do with each other. But doesn't seem to be like an order to these books because it looks like these, you can tell they're also kind of dusty. Like most of the books here have a good layer of forget-me dust on them.
Would there be dust on the what's it called? On the shelf itself?
I was just about to say there would be, except where there is clearly a gap. There looks to be a dust break there as well. Where one book of noticeable size and width and thickness would have been.
Because Dax is trying to get a understanding of how big the book might have been that was there.
Yeah.
Is the gap of dust bigger? Would it be bigger than what the other books would make, or would it be around the same size?
All the books have different sizes and thicknesses. There's no like unification to any of these books. Different spines, different thicknesses, different styles, different bindings. They're all, and you can tell varying styles. Some of them look more modern. Some of them look very, very old. So there's no consistency that you could be able to like match one-to-one with. But what you would notice is that this gap is a little bit thicker than most of the books. Not all of the books. There's clearly some that are way thicker, but this is a pretty chunky book. Think like a Harry Potter book, like nice and good and chunky.
Okay. The last thing she's going to kind of look at is, does it look like this book was just recently taken, or does it look like it was taken a bit ago? So like, is more dust starting to kind of collect where it would have been?
What you notice is that there's almost no dust in this gap. So do with that as you will.
Dax would go ahead and...
Actually, I take that back. It wouldn't be no dust. It'd be a very, very minimal amount of dust, like noticeably less. Like the only reason you realize there's dust there is because
it wasn't just taken, but it was taken recently.
Yeah. Like there's enough dust there that when you get up close to it, because with a 19, it's a pretty good investigation. You get up next to it and you realize, okay, there is dust here, but you had to get right up on it to notice it. From a distance, it didn't look like there was any.
And with that, without saying another word, or without saying a word to Rhea at the moment, Dax walks back in the direction of the librarian.
Okay. I mean, it's a bit of a hike from where you're at. You're in the very back of the library, and you're on the second floor. But you can absolutely make your way there.
So yeah, she's going to make her way back to the main desk where they first came in and talked to the librarian.
Okay. All right.
And she's going to wait if the librarian's not there.
Okay, so you start making your way to the front desk. While this is happening, we're going to zip over. Grigor, you're on the ground floor, and you've been directed to the section of rudimentary and introductory arcane studies. And there's basically 6 rows, 6 stacks of books in sequential order, 10 through 15, 0, 1, 0 through 0, 1, 5. And these books are literally magic for dummies. These aren't even Arcane 101. These are pre-intro to Arcane Studies books. I need you to roll me go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, please. He's like trying to find on his character sheet, like, there's an Arcana check? Like, my character doesn't do that. Okay, so you have a +2 to Arcana. Wow, look at that. Okay, so with an 11, you sift through several of these books over a little while and realize that basically you're kind of able to understand some of these books. Like, obviously they're written in common and you can read through them, but you're not fully comprehending what it's talking about. You read a lot of things talking about that arcane power comes from either a connection with the weave, as some books write about it, and there's like this magical arcane thread or threads that twist and wind through the fabric of reality, and how you're supposed to tap into that, and that tapping into the weave gives you the ability to have arcane powers. Or then you read another book and realize that, well, some arcane powers are coming from the deities and their ability to grant this to their devoted followers. Or then you read about patrons and whatever the heck that means, and getting power from somebody else. And then you read about people who just have innate talent and can just do things, and they have to learn how to fabricate it and stuff. None of it's really making sense. It's all very, like, it seems simple enough, but then it's like, it doesn't, like, you have almost no experience with the arcane, like practically. Like, you can understand, like, oh, that has arcane powers to it, but as far as like trying to understand how to do it, it's not really tracking. And you kind of come to the realization that, okay, I can learn some of this, or I can try to better understand some of this, but I'm going to need somebody to kind of walk me through this. I'm going to need somebody who is skilled in this particular area of study, who can actually kind of guide me in these directions, as opposed to me trying to book learn this. The most that you're kind of able to figure out on your own is that there are countless ways that one can start getting themselves into the realm of a magical practitioner, or someone who can use magic. There is not one clear defined, this is how it works. But with that, it's kind of almost like choice paralysis. It's like, there's so many ways to do this, and I don't understand how these all work and how I'm going to get there. And you realize you're going to need some help. Anything else that Grigor would be looking for or doing in this section?
I would also look into like the different like schools of magic.
Ah, okay, yeah. I would say with an 11, you're still able to get the gist of that. And essentially, you find that there are many schools of magic. The ones that are the most documented are... Whoops, wrong button. Sorry, I have to look this up because I butcher this every time I try to do it on my own, without fail. There it is. Okay, so you in your studies learn that there are 8 basic schools of magic. There are many schools of magic that exist beyond the core 8, but you learn that there are the School of Conjuration, the School of Necromancy, the School of Evocation, Abjuration, Transmutation, Divination, Enchantment, and Illusion. These 8 primary schools of magic are the ones that the University Arcanum does focus on. You do learn that there's other things. There's things like Dunamancy, Chronomancy, and other similar schools that get out a little bit out there. You do read that there is actually in one of the books, you do read that there are bands or schools of magic that are basically not allowed in common society and definitely not taught here at the university, but they're not written about. Just that there are certain kinds of magic that are not permitted magics. Think like oh my gosh, like what is it called? Cursed magic or whatever from Harry Potter. I can't think of what it's called. But there are certain schools of magic that are a no-no.
Unforgivable curses, I believe they were.
Yeah, but there's a name for them. Like, is it the unforgivable spell or something like that? I forget what it is. I gotta
something
go back.
Curses.
Yeah, I gotta go back and play Hogwarts Legacy again because I'm forgetting what they're called.
Unforgivable curses?
Maybe that's them. Maybe I was just overcomplicating it. But yeah, so you do find obviously some whispers and hints of other forms of magic beyond the core 8. You do. I mean, basically within 11, you get the schools, and you basically get the very basic gist in your reading is that conjuration spells deal with creating objects or creatures, or potentially making them disappear. Necromancy spells deal with manipulating life and death. Evocation deal with unleashing raw magical energy. Abjuration spells deal with protection and shielding. Transmutation deals with manipulating the physical properties of items and people. Divination deals with revealing and granting knowledge and information. School of Enchantment deals with manipulating mental states of targets. And then Illusion is manipulating the various senses of people and creatures. So that's your basically like your how-to dummy guide for some basic magic stuff for good old Grigor. Ah, Dark Arts. That was it. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for was Dark Arts, but Unforgivable Curses is the official term. Thank you. Anyways, anything else that Grigor would be looking for?
That seems about it.
Okay. Good deal. All right. With that, Pipwick, what are you looking for? Are you just looking for how to read? Oh, he's still muted. I'll come back to him. With Tippy's lack of finding spell scrolls, would she be looking for anything else or doing anything else?
Not really.
Okay, cool. All right, well then in that case, trying to see here. Okay, so Talina, you had mentioned you were looking for records of magic items,
Tippy's
correct?
Rock.
Yeah, Tippy's Rock. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check as well, please.
Intelligence.
Wait, why are you? No, do not show yourself out, Jesse. Get back here. Sorry, I was busy.
What? Oh, yes. Boop. I am so smart. I am averagely smart.
Wow, averagely smart. So within 11, the sections on archaeological finds, geological finds, magic item catalogs, and caches and such, it's diverse, it's varied, and it's a very large section. There's so much written information here on basically magical items. It's almost overwhelming. Within 11, you find all sorts of written accounts of people finding magical gemstones of all kinds, shapes, and sizes, but nothing that sounds familiar to the one you found or the one correction that Tippy has. You read about magical items that have stones inlaid into them or imbued into them. People creating stones and gemstones and all sorts of things pertaining to that. And it basically takes up a while of your time to just kind of sift through these. You're not really reading very quickly within 11. However, as you're kind of getting to the point of like this is pointless, this like you can feel your brain cells rotting with the amount of reading you've been doing. You're about to put one of the books away when something catches your eye in one of the books, and you flip a page, and it starts describing these shards. And you read about these shards for a little bit longer, and you realize this is kind of similar to what you found, but not a one-to-one. And what it's describing is these rumored historical shards from an unknown time, from an unknown plane. No one knows anything really about their origins, where they came from, what they pertain to, but that there's these shards that have varying styles, kinds, sources, looks, effects, magical properties, etc. Yet seem to react when in proximity to each other, and have strange magical properties that can't really be determined. And that's not necessarily weird or out of the ordinary, but the odd thing is that while stones don't typically interact with each other, these ones seem to react when in proximity to one another. And people have found all sorts of these shards in this little section of this book. Nothing that describes the one you found, but the thing that catches your eye about it is whenever these shards have been found, they were never held onto for very long before strange amphibian-like beasts showed up to cause mayhem, and the shards would then disappear and were never reported of again.
And just for my sanity, her shard didn't disappear, right? She just has it?
She still has it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, my brain went, did it incorporate with her body? But no, it didn't.
Nope, she has it. It's a physical item.
Neato. Scribble, 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 scribble. And when I have that information, I'll try to be super subtle about it and like tuck the paper back into where I have all my papers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going back to guard duty.
So you're trying to take a page from the book?
No, I'm copying the information over to a note.
I gotcha.
Paper that I have.
I gotcha. Roll me a sleight of hand check.
Yeah, I'm so subtle.
The subtlest of people. All right, cool. As you are, what's up?
Truly, I'm not going to write it just normally.
Okay.
Because this can be ritual. This can be ritual cast.
What can? Oh, that's an interesting idea. Okay.
I have plenty of gold on me.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't consume the ink. Oh wait, of course it would. Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It consumes the ink, but not the.
Well, it only
needs.
needs.
A good thing I bought the ink.
I was gonna say, yeah, you just need to have the ink on you. So.
No, it says specifically which the spell consumes.
Yeah, but it consumes. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm not seeing everything on my end. That's possible.
It's using one of these. I bought 3 of them for this purpose.
Oh yeah, it consumes the ink, not the gold. Sorry, that's what I was confirming.
Right. Yeah, but I had to buy the ink for 10 gold.
That is correct. Yep. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, cool. So while you're writing that down, while Rhea is basically finished, Rhea and Dax are finished, or Rhea is finishing up her thing. Tippy's still meandering. Grigor's finishing his thing. Pipwick, are you back?
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize I was muted.
No, that's all right. Is Pipwick just trying to learn how to read, or is he doing something specific in the children's section of this library?
I'm just fucking around, honestly. He's like thumbing through books. He might like toss one over his shoulder every once in a while.
Oh, okay, so not putting him back on the shelf, like looking through it and then tossing it.
Yeah, like making a mess, doing goblin things.
I love it. Okay, all right. For kicks and giggles, just roll me a d20 and add your charisma modifier, just for kicks.
You're right.
Music is actually perfect for a library.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. All right, cool. Thank you. All right. As Dax, as you were
charisma.
Oh yeah. As you're walking,
some call me the Rizzler.
The Rizzler. Jeez Louise, I should take your heroic inspiration for that. As you're walking to the foyer and the front desk once more, you pass Grigor over in a section, and you can see him almost sweating as he's trying to read these books, and you see him very much struggling, trying to like a student studying that's not understanding the material but is trying desperately to grasp it. You see off on one side. You look over to the other side, and you see Talina thumbing through a couple of books, and seemingly you see, I'll say with an 8, you see her trying to tuck something into her jacket with no dexterous abilities. You look over to the other side, and you see Pipwick, flip through a book and then toss it over his shoulder, pull a book, flip through the book, toss it over his shoulder, and with a loud thunk as they hit the floor or the rack behind him, you make your way back into the foyer, and Librarian, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Librarian Morn is still there, and you see she's pushed her glasses up a little bit further on her nose, and she seems to be writing very softly and daintily inside of some sort of a parchment or book of some kind behind the desk.
Dax is gonna go ahead and approach. Excuse me.
And she doesn't look, and she just keeps writing. What can I help you with?
I was just curious. We were over in the section you had pointed us to about the dark arts. Or not the dark arts, chaotic magic.
Sorry, this is not Hogwarts. Please continue.
And I noticed that it looked like one of the books might be missing. Did someone come by recently also looking for the section?
The moment you say missing, you hear her scratching of the quill on parchment just abruptly stop. And she just slowly raises her eyes to you over the brim of her glasses. A book is missing? Books do not go missing in my library. Where is this at?
The chaotic magic section. I can show you.
No, it's all right. And you watch as she looks up towards you, and for a moment you think she's looking at you, and then you watch her both of her eyes glaze over white, and you see her kind of eyes move around and flutter a little bit, and they come back. I do believe you're right. There appears to be a book missing next to your friend. Not good. And she moves over and she starts looking, and you realize she's checking some kind of a registry, and you see names listed down, but you can't read them because they're upside down and written in like very fancy cursive that is very hard to read, and you realize it's like some weird handwriting that she has that only she can read. And she starts checking through. I don't have any names. I'm uncertain as to who would have been in that section as of late. No one has recently asked about the location of that section. Then again, anyone who comes in regularly might know where it is on their own.
Do you allow people to check out books? And she says that like questioning, like she doesn't know how a library really works.
She kind of looks up at you, and she recognizes that naivete of Dax and the lack of understanding how libraries work. She kind of gives a soft smile, very disarming smile. Unlike some libraries in other cities or locations, no, we do not allow anyone to remove any of the books from this building, as many are very, very old. Even the students aren't allowed to take them. They must conduct their studies here within the confines of the hall, but I'm surprised anyone was able to get a book out of here, as let's just say no one takes a book out of this building without my knowing. And you kind of get you get the sense that she's talking about some sort of protection, something or other that either keeps books in the building, or if a book was to leave, she'd know exactly where it was or who had it. The fact that any book not only has left the building, but escaped my eye is troubling, to say the least.
Any chance you would know what that book is about? Obviously, chaotic magic, but any other information about it?
She looks at you again. Her eyes go back white once more. Comes back to normal again. She blinks. As much as it pains me to admit it, I am not as familiar with the books in that section as I would like to be. Based on the size of the dust marking, it would be one of our larger ones. If I had to venture a guess, I would say it is some sort of historical record of chaotic magic's entirety, as far as its first believed origins and such until now. That would be my guess. I apologize, I don't remember all the books in that section, as it's more or less a forgotten section.
No, I appreciate the help.
I appreciate you bringing it to my attention.
Of course, I'm gonna, and she kind of says awkwardly, I'm gonna return to my friend now.
Very well. If you do happen to come across that book anywhere, please let me know and return it, and I'll happily reward you and your friends for recovering it. It's any book in these halls is more or less priceless in someone's eyes, so the returning of the school's property would be much appreciated. I'm sure the Archmage would appreciate it as well.
I'll happily return it if we find it.
Of course, I appreciate you. Thank you.
And with that, Dax is going to return to where Rhea is.
Okay. Takes you several minutes to get back across the hall, and as you're walking here, thunk, and you look over and see Pipwick toss another book.
This goblin is a mess. She kind of mutters under her breath.
Just for kicks and giggles, Riggsy, can you roll me a let's say a D20, just straight D20.
Yeah.
I want to see how many books Pipwick gets through.
A lot.
How much is he retaining, though?
It sounds like he's just flipping through picture books, but...
I am now a learned scholar.
So many picture books. There's just a stack of books behind you. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I know that we don't have Kyria here.
Yes.
But do you still want to do some of her research and explain what's going on with her?
Yes, I will do that. I was trying to figure out how I'd do it, but we'll just do it that way. So Kyria was looking into resurrection and undead studies, or undead side effects, excuse me, in the studies of side effects. Essentially, actually, let's do this. I will go ahead and roll for Kyria, as I was told I could do that. So we're going to roll an intelligence check for Kyria. Oops, that was a blind roll. That's going to be that's an 11, but I goofed and...
Should be able to make it public by clicking the triple...
Oh, yeah, I forgot you can do that. Yeah, reveal to everyone. There we go. Boop. And I will change this back to public roll. Okay, there we go. So with Kyria's 11, she also... it's a very... resurrection studies and undead studies fall into a huge category of a lot of different sections and a lot of different... pieces of literature. So it's not so much that she's not grasping this, it's kind of an overwhelming amount of books to go through. And so literally the amount of time it takes all of you guys to do all these different things when it comes to moving around the library, asking questions, digging into books, flipping through a bunch of books, etc. It basically takes her that entire time to sift through a wide range of books and narrow it down to a handful of books that seem to kind of target her focus and what she's looking for. She does find that there are, many spells and rituals that have existed throughout time that are aimed at healing, preserving life, or even reversing death. Most are extremely time sensitive, as anyone who casts Revivify would know that there's a time limit on when you can cast it successfully. However, there are some that are much more powerful that fall into much more powerful necromantic spells and can manipulate death and do something a little more obscure to what Revivify can do, but in like less of a time crunch. She reads that most are practiced by wizards and spellcasters, she finds that as most wizards and spellcasters know, necromantic spells can be and have a history of being very dangerous without a lot of proper training and schooling and practice. And even then, some of them just have bad track records, as most people know. When reviving a corpse quickly after death, there are very few side effects if done correctly versus the length of time that would be if there was a longer time period between death and reanimation. You start to just amplify the side effects and the potential for nasty side effects. Basically, anytime you're bringing someone back to life from death, there are no guarantees ever. There are some spells that have higher track records of success, like Revivify, and there are ones like Animate Dead that work, but do not work the same way. You're restoring life to a corpse, you're not restoring a soul to a body. Then there are series of spells and magic that flat out cut corners. I heard a thing, but I didn't see what it did. There are... Oh, thank you for the follow. she learns that there are some spells that just flat out cut corners and sort of leave behind elements of the original spirit, and that these magics are not very commonly used, in fact commonly avoided, but there are some necromantic spellcasters that will dive into them fully because they just want expediency over quality, quantity over quality sort of deal. These particular forms of magics basically leave behind fragments of the spirit when putting them back in the body, and thus you get creatures that are sort of mindless, soulless killers, or even just mindless soulless creatures that don't do anything. This basically creates the undead sort of creatures that people commonly would think of. A soul that does live appears mostly normal, but is missing that spark of life, that warmth. This can be rare, but has happened a few times, and those who have attempted it, or have attempted to reverse it or fix the problem, there's a little record of that, but it's not unheard of. Finally, after all of this reading and just like feeling like just completely like, yes, I know this stuff, or oh, that's interesting, but that's not helpful. Finally, the one piece of literature that seems to help a little bit is that there's one historical account of a necromancer wizard who sort of broke the mold on necromancer wizards, and instead of being more like power hungry and, for lack of a better term, evil, trying to basically manipulate death for twisting it to his own benefit, he basically was trying to use necromantic spells benevolently and was actually trying to find a way to use typically evil or demented spells for good in some fashion. And the only there's some scattered records of him, but he's basically known as Thalen Morvain, the benevolent necromancer. And there's not much information in this particular series of books that Kyria is able to find, but she does find his name, and that could be something to lead to more. All right, and with that, is there anything else people are looking for and or doing before the library, before you guys leave the library, I should say?
Rhea is just jotting down as much information as she can, no matter how mundane, regarding chaos magic. Okay. As her curiosity is piqued, and if there's any, I don't know, sigils or runes or whatever else she might be able to adapt for some sort of use.
Gotcha.
She's going to attempt such things at some point in the future.
Something that Rhea discovers in her studies of the limited catalog of books here is that chaos magic doesn't have, at least this section of literature is a better way to put it, there's no like runic symbols that can be copied like for ritualistic chaotic magic spells that you're discovering. It's less a written form of magic, and it looks to be more of an innate like manipulation of a pre-existing magic is what is the best you can determine from here. It does appear that there's like an equivalency of the weave, quote unquote, like there is, like chaos magic seems to exist in some sort of raw form, but all the literature here seems to suggest that most spellcasters were just kind of like manipulating what already exists and twisting it into more of a chaotic direction versus like I'm writing specific runes and symbols that create chaos magic is what it seems to be. There's no guarantee of that, but at least the literature here seems to indicate that.
Okay, and an above table question. Does chaos magic fall under its own school of magics to locate?
More or less
to use.
More or less, yes. It's less a school of magic and more like a manipulation of the pre-existing schools.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I say manipulation. It's manipulation, but it's more like when you have something. So like if I'm trying to think of an example here. Like if you've got, okay, you know, like a lithium ion battery, right? Like it functions perfectly normal, but if something disrupts it, it explodes chaotically and melts and causes a whole bunch of problems. It's kind of the same thing. Like you have a spell, let's use the spell Firebolt, right? So you have a Firebolt spell, it does the same thing every time, but if something was to interrupt that and infuse itself into that spell, who knows what bolt would fly out of your hand beyond just a simple firebolt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in her studies, did she find that spell combination might innately be chaotic?
There, in some of the readings, yes. Some of them seem to be records of people trying to almost cast 2 spells at the same time of like different effects and trying to like channel them into a singular item or object or location and seeing what would happen. Others were like trying to take the beginning forms of like a ritualistic or incantation spell and morph it with another to see what would happen. It seems to be like the equivalent of will it blend, like basically trying to put more than one thing into the same mixing pot and seeing what concoction came out on the other side. And some of them have no effect, it just doesn't seem to work at all, and some of them seem to create just very wildly unpredictable results.
Okay. Well, Helrea will place all of the books that she has gone through, and rather than put them away, she is leaving them on the table, but she has neatly stacked them on the table she has been studying from.
Okay. Yeah, there's one small little circular table kind of at the back of the stack of this rack of books, I should say, that you could easily place everything back on.
Okay. With that, she will stand and finally notice, unless Dax has returned by this point, that Dax went missing. Was Scorch still with her?
No, Dax was still hanging. Scorch was still hanging out with Helrea, and whether or not Dax would have returned by the time Rhea finished up, I'll leave up to Mr. DM.
I'd say it's about the same time you wrap up. You kind of look up and see Dax reapproaching from the direction of the main part of the chamber.
And where did you go off to?
I was just following up on something that I have discovered.
Oh?
Yes,
Well, do share.
And Dax kind of drops her voice a little bit so that only Rhea can hear her. One of the chaotic magic books is missing. I guess it was taken from the library. The librarian believes it is the book on the entire history of chaotic magic, from the beginning and its creation to nowadays.
Where was this?
It was on the shelf towards the end. It was hard to miss where it would have been because there were some books, I guess were leaning, covering up the spot. But it was there, and it was taken recently.
Rhea's gonna go and approach the space that Dax had pointed out.
Yeah, now that she's pointed it out, super easy to notice.
Is there any way to investigate the location and see if anything was left behind?
Go for it.
Okay.
No, there's not a rooster inside the library.
13.
Cock-a-diddly-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. With a 13, you are able to find the location very simply from what Dax pointed out. It's kind of one of those things that you would never have noticed until she pointed it out. Now it's like, oh, how did I not notice that in the first place? But all you were able to notice is that it is very clearly a larger gap between the books than any of the other books. There is clearly some sort of a dust gap where something of a thicker substance used to be. However, there doesn't appear to be anything necessarily left over. There doesn't seem to be any sort of distressed patterns or anything on the shelf or anything like that.
Would a Okay, first off, let me check if that costs a spell slot. Gosh dang it, it does. Heck. Yeah, we'll leave that to it. Well, that makes research a little bit stagnant, but I think I found quite a bit to go off of.
That's good at least. Oh, I will also add the librarian doesn't know how the book was taken, which tells me it was probably taken via some magic user, as she mentioned that she knows when books are taken from the library. Which tells me some type of spell is in play that either keeps books here or something like that. So we might have another magical user in play.
Well, it is the university, I expect that. However... And Rhea will turn to the location again where the book was. And in the general area, with some surrounding book copies and the spot itself, she is going to cast Detect Magic. I don't know if I can do that in like a ritual sense.
I don't think Detect Magic is considered a ritual spell. Let me double check something here. Hold on.
Action or ritual.
Ah, there you go. Okay. So in that case, it doesn't consume an action, but
it still consumes a spell slot. Is that right?
Ah, got you.
I don't know the difference between rituals. And stuff.
Rituals typically don't consume spell slots, so if it says that it can be a
Ritual
ritual,
doesn't use the spell slot, but takes like 10 minutes.
it's gonna
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna take at least 10 minutes for you to do that, which is easily done in this particular space. So if you're using it that way, then yeah, it's just gonna take 10 minutes. It's not gonna burn a spell slot, so you're good there.
Cool.
So after about 10 minutes of WandaVisioning your hands in circles and sort of such, getting yourself prepped for this spell, excuse me. Oh, thank you, Archivist. You Detect Magic comes up, and you do notice that. What's the range on that? 30 feet. 30 feet. Yeah, 30 feet. 30
it
feet
is
around
30
you.
feet. Trying to more focus it within the area, because as Dax described, all the books in here should have some sort of potential alert spell if they leave the vicinity.
Yes. So what you notice is every single book around you does light up with a soft, faint glow, indicating that there's some sort of light spell that's cast on every single book in here. Several of them, occasionally you notice, kind of in your general vicinity, some of them have like a different flicker of a different color, indicating that there's another magic at play. But what you notice is that there seems to be a layered effect to this, where the primary sort of color that is illuminating on every single book in this facility, every single one around you, is there's a predominant color, and I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Hold on a second, because it would be my guess.
Along with that, you say that they're all color-coded with this spell.
Mm-hmm.
The space that is missing the book, does it have any residue of a different color or a different type of spell? And or do any books within the chaos section or general vicinity give off a different aura?
Gotcha.
Than or an additionally different aura?
Yeah. Okay. So every single book seems to have a white outline to it, meaning it's predominantly a divination spell that is lingering on each one, and then there's like a subtle, where is it? A subtle abjuration spell that seems to be kind of mixed into the white divination spell. So there's kind of a shimmer between gold and white on every single book, and you kind of get this vibe that must be what Dax was talking about, that the librarian was referring to. Something that you do notice as you're kind of scanning the area is the dusty space where the book used to be as a perfect outline of that exact same color combo, floating as if a book is there, but it's not. As far as the other books and such, I mean, there's a few books that kind of glow with a faint, like, kind of lingering essence of kind of a mixture of colors. You see some light blue with illusion, you see some purple with evocation, and even a soft green with necromancy, but nothing that's like, it's nothing that's like it's not like when you look at a spell scroll or like a wizard's tome that's just like glowing like a neon light. It's just kind of like this soft essence, like they've been exposed and have
no
kind of
Technicolor rainbow.
Yeah, no Technicolor rainbow.
Possible chaos.
No, the only real vibrancy that you're seeing is that gold and white kind of combination of an abjuration and divination spell that seems to be clearly some sort of alarm / protection / tracking / something that would allow potentially the librarian to either know and or track these books if they were to go missing. But like I said, you do notice that the space where that dust was, it like with detect magic up, it looks like there should be a book there, but you know there's not.
So you're saying that all of the books, regardless of the alarm or alerting spell, might have themselves a other slight faint, like similar identifier spell.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to go about this. So you said each book in its own right, despite the outline of white to dictate the alarm / alert spell, some, or if not all, also have other color codings within that perimeter.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying is like, you basically, it's kind of a smattering of some of the books around you within that 30-foot range that have like this very faint, like other colors of other sorts of magic. But what you kind of pick up, because it's such a faint wisp of color, is that it's more like they were maybe written in like with like a magical, like illusory script, or they were written on maybe like a more magically infused paper or something. There's nothing here that's necessarily like that is a magic item with power behind it. It's just kind of more, you're in a library at an arcane university, you're probably going to have some kind of lingering magical effects kind of draping themselves on some of these books. The only like active magic that you can visibly detect like 100% is this sort of protection / guarding / shielding spell.
Okay. Out of curiosity and a general tinge in the back of my own head, Rhea's going to approach the empty spot, lift up some of the books that are slanted and falling into the location where the other one should be, and kind of just hold her hand at the width of how wide this book would be, and like gently grasp at what would be the outline, just to see what happens.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, so Dax, you watch as you can't see what's going on. You just see an empty space on the shelf, and Rhea reaches forward into that empty spot, which also has a book leaning.
Actually,
okay.
I'm gonna ask. So I should have asked this earlier, but I'm gonna ask now. Would Dax have known what Rhea is doing when she casts Detect Magic?
Truth be told, her ring will faintly glow, as it typically does. So you would know that she is casting some sort of spell. I will let you know that.
I will say
that doesn't help me.
Yeah, and I will say well, you actually wait, hold on.
I have Detect Magic because
then you would absolutely know what this is. 100%. You know what she's doing.
Okay.
Yeah. My apologies.
So,
I forgot you had that spell.
Yeah, so at the same time, Dax is going to catch it. So now, would she see everything that Ray is currently seeing?
Oh, you're casting it ritually too?
Yes.
Oh, then yeah, you would see the exact same thing. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
she would be able to see Rhea pinching at the outline of a book.
Yeah. So Rhea reaches forward. You see all the same glow, that whitish, goldish kind of mixture tinge on every book around you, and you see her reaching for it, and you notice the spot that has the dust spot that clearly there used to be a book there, has that same outline, and she reaches for it. And Rhea, as you reach out and put your fingers around it, your fingers go right through it. There's no book there.
That's what I thought, but it was worth a shot. Definitely missing. Definitely need to keep our eyes out for it, and it's not going to have the alert or alarm spelled connected.
Nope, it will not.
On that note, she will, Hellrail will basically stop the concentration on her ritual spell and pack up what little things she set out. I think it's time we regroup with the others. There's not much more I can grab from over here.
She says while moving her fingers in a grabbing motion to something she can't grab. Sorry, it's right there.
No, she stopped. As soon as her pinch of it, the light pinch of like, am I gonna grab something? Okay, no.
No,
she's gonna move her hand away and just be like,
I was making a joke because you said there's nothing where you can grab back here when you just tried to grab something that wasn't there. I thought that was funny.
He was making a dad joke.
Yeah.
Blah.
I thought it was funny. Okay, moving on.
You would.
Yeah, I would think it's funny. Okay. With that, you guys have concluded in your corner here and are kind of like starting to make your way back to the center of the library. Kind of last call. Is there anything anybody else in the room would like to be doing in the library before you guys kind of reconvene at the entrance?
Nope, aside from keeping an eye on strange coming and goings, and after I've written my little note.
Yeah, okay. You don't notice any strange comings and goings over after writing your note. It's just you see a couple of students lingering in various tables and spaces doing their quiet studies, and you see a couple of librarian-like assistants that are moving around, kind of moving books from location to location in various spots, or putting books back from a table onto a shelf. And then every once in a while you hear a thunk, and you look over, and Pipwick has tossed one more, making his total 17 books into a pile behind him. Pipwick, as you toss your 17th book and have basically cleared out almost an entire shelf's worth of books that's now piled up almost as tall as you are behind you, you suddenly get the sense that there is a presence immediately to your left that feels taller than you.
I'll kind of look like I'm like sitting down on the floor in this library, just chucking books behind me. So I'll kind of look up.
As you turn, you see very clearly a set of a dress, basically. And as you kind of follow the dress upwards and upwards and upwards, you now see librarian. I keep getting her name wrong and literally sitting here in my notes. Librarian Sithara Morin standing there, hands on her hips, foot tapping, with a cocked eyebrow and her glasses resting on the end of her nose, just staring at you. Very Saturday morning cartoon special, creepy old librarian lady just standing there tapping her foot. Is there a reason? Oh, go ahead.
I haven't found one I like yet.
She kind of, her eyebrow raises even higher. Are you going to put these back?
Well, yeah. Obviously.
Roll me a deception check. I know that's horse shit. Oh my gosh. I hate it. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if she can. Oh my gosh. Even with a dirty 20, she kind of just goes. You just, without breaking eye contact, she reaches one of her hands out to a shelf that hasn't been emptied by you, grabs the book, pulls it in front of her, kind of looks at it, and holds it out to you and says, I believe this one should suffice.
I'm going to, like, open it and just kind of stare at it for a second. I don't know what I'm looking at yet.
Basically, what you're looking at is a really simple children's fairy tale book that is about a fairy princess who was cast out as a child and has to reclaim her throne. It's like a really simple children's story.
Hey, she's small. I like this one.
And she just kind of goes, I had a feeling. Now, if you don't mind. And she gestures towards the massive pile of books.
I'm going to try and pick all of them up at once.
Roll me a, oh, is that sleight of hand? No, I'd say that's just a dex check. See if you can manipulate that. With a 14, you're able to get a good chunk of them. Like, you only drop a couple of them and you realize you're not going to have to pick up many, but now you just have this armful of books. Like, you've got them basically in your hands. I'd say, actually, out of the 17 books on the ground, I'd say you actually have 14.
In the most uncomfortable way possible, I'm going to try and put all of them back in the shelf at once.
I don't know what to have you roll for that. I don't think there's a dice check for square peg round hole check. I don't think that exists.
What about performance?
You know what? Yes. Give me a yes, I love that. Give me a performance check, because why not? I thought that was gonna. Oh, it is.
I love how even a 1, I'm still a 12.
You're still
but...
a 12. I don't even. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Actually, you know what? I want to do this. I'm using my inspiration on it.
To re-roll it? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. What a use of inspiration.
It's
I want
the
to do
best use of
this.
inspiration.
Jeez Louise. Okay. With a 22, you are able to somehow shove these books in such a way where they go into the shelf space, and as you are shifting and pushing, they just kind of spread out to where they're not falling off the shelf. They're just kind of haphazardly fitting into this space, and they're laying over. Some of them are open. Some of them are getting cockeyed sideways. One's on the shelf by the cover, and then the other side's hanging off the side, so it's open. And you're able to get all 14 onto the shelf, but it is by no means organized, and there's still 3 books on the ground that you weren't able to pick up.
I'm leaving those.
This is peak D&D, by the way. And so you just walk away.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. I'm just walking away.
And you just hear the world's loudest, quietest librarian sigh behind you as she leans down and starts picking up the 3 that you missed.
I hold up the one that she told me I like. I'm keeping this.
And she just kind of you see that she's a vein in her neck and her forehead from this, and she just waves her hand, and you don't see anything happen, but she's very well, and she goes back to what she's doing. You can now add a children's fairy tale book to your inventory.
Yeah, the fairy that lost her way.
Yes, the fairy that lost her way. There you go.
Yeah, I am totally turning this into a Billy Madison bit at some point.
She's small. I like this one. Oh, jeez. Okay, so with that, after she waves her hand and you walk away, do you still have Detect Magic up, Elraya or Dax? Or did you guys dismiss it? Hello, Rhea.
I didn't realize I was muted.
That's right.
Rhea would have broke the concentration on the ritual and dispelled it.
Okay. So as you guys reconvene back in the foyer, we're at what is now an empty desk, as you several of you have seen the librarian in the children's section trying to reorganize a very unorganized shelf. You guys all reconvene in the foyer, and Pipwick is proudly holding a book in his hand. Everyone's there. Kyria joins you as well, quietly, and she appears to be deep in thought, like she's contemplating what she was looking over.
So, did you guys find everything you needed? We good? Finger guns.
As best as I could, I suppose.
I didn't.
What is
find
that
anything.
that you have?
Go ahead.
What is that you have in your hands, you creature?
A book, dummy. What do you think it is?
Can you even read it?
It's got pictures.
Okay, what's the story about?
A fairy who lost its way.
How did the fairy lose its way?
I don't know that yet. I haven't read the whole book. That's why it's in my hands.
You realize you
I don't know the lore.
take books from here, right?
She said I could.
Who said you could?
The lady.
The lady? That's very specific.
I just like point.
Can I figure out if he's bullshitting or not on that one?
Roll an insight.
No, I cannot.
Nope, you
Ray is
have.
taking passive insight.
Okay, so actually, I determined this with my in-person game. Passive insight is not something you can just take. The way that I've decided I'm using it for both in-person and online games is passive insight is what I will look at on your sheet to reference for DC checks for things. If you're gonna like do and actively do something, you're gonna make a roll for it. Because I was always a little confused with how that all functions, and that's how I've determined I'm going to use it. Because I mean, I did some research, and that's what it is.
detector activate.
Your BS detector is pretty high. Pipwick, I mean, you can roll a persuasion check because I mean, you know what she told you, so.
Dax just at this point doesn't care enough to
Sure.
try and if he's lying.
I mean, Rhea with an 18, you can get. I mean, he seems to be telling the truth. For Talina, he is honest as the day is long.
And yet I am skeptical.
The ultimate definition of a D&D insight check.
Rhea will turn to Dax and just question, I thought you said one book was missing. Like she didn't know it was gone. You don't think she accidentally or let it go then?
Dax, do you still have your detect magic up, or did you dismiss it as well?
No, I still have it up.
So what you notice with detect magic still up is that there is not a gold and white outline on the book in Pipwick's hands. It is innate. It is an inert, normal book.
No, I wouldn't say that. That book that he's holding doesn't have the outline all the other ones did. And even with the one that we were looking for that's missing, there was still an outline there, just no book.
Outline?
We'll fill you in when there's not. And she kind of looks over at the goblin before whispering to Talina, when there's not children around.
Can I assume that we're all by like the front desk or the entrance area?
Yeah. I figured you guys would all kind of reconvene in the foyer.
So.
Yeah, foyer, and there's no one else in here.
Rhea, in infinite wisdom right now, will cast a short message to the librarian.
Okay. What does she say?
Sorry to bother, ma'am, but might I ask a question at the desk?
You don't get a response, but you hear, and you look over, and she seems to be not quickly, but just casually, but semi-briskly making her way back into the foyer. She doesn't necessarily look at you. She steps behind the desk, sits down, and kind of adjusts her glasses, looks up, and says, "What is it that I can do for you, dearie?" And she looks directly at you, knowing who it came from.
I had noticed some of your fail-safes to keep your books known and still in the library. However, the placement of that missing book still has residual magics in its area.
She raises
almost as if it was still in time.
She raises her eyebrow, and you see the same thing that Daxori saw earlier, where both of her eyes glaze over white as she stares at you. She kind of cocks her head to the side. Then they glaze over blue, like a very soft pale blue. I hadn't thought of that. Interesting. And it comes back in its normal eye color. Intriguing. I've never seen that one before. Yes, it does appear that someone has circumvented my security measures with our books. You are correct. The incantation that I place on every book does seem to be lingering there. However, the book is in fact gone. That's a curious trick.
I'm not going to ask you directly how one might do that, but...
Quite honestly, I could think of a few techniques one might try. However, I don't know how successful some of them may be. I don't have the way to test some of them.
Do you think it might be a student that may have gone there, or possibly an outsider? Who's the last to ever check that section?
As I was telling your red friend here, quite honestly, it could have been anyone. Students come and go.
You pointed out my skin color?
Well, you're the red one, aren't you? She says,
I'm
like...
joking. No, that was out of character.
Yeah. As I was mentioning to her, the library is open to not only students, but residents of the city. So long as they follow the rules, there's nothing barring citizens from researching things. So it could have been a student. The chances are higher due to the fact that we are in the correct district. But there's nothing stopping anyone from city council to a pauper coming in here and researching something. As far as who was there recently, no one has come in as of late and asked about that section, but that doesn't mean anyone didn't come in and either find it, know about it, or quietly find out on their own. If someone was willing to remove a book from here, knowing that it was magically tethered to this building, something tells me they wouldn't have come up and asked me about it in the first place.
Those are fair points. Do you have any secondary markings that may be within your books? Any identifying marks that will help us locate it if we find it somewhere?
Yes, the inside cover of every one of our books is embossed with the signet of the university. And she takes a book from the side that she looked like she was either checking in or cataloging of some sorts, and she opens it and turns it on the desk around so you can look at it. And essentially what you see on the bottom left inside of the front cover is a very clearly like a stamp, but it's embossed like some sort of press. And you see it's very simple, like I say simple, very ornate UA, sort of intertwined UA and common, that creates this circular wreath that encompasses these two letters in signifying the University Arcanum. That symbol should be on the inside of any one of our books, so chances are very high this one should have that symbol as well. As well as I typically initial, and she flips to the back of the book, and there's like she shows a couple different books, and you see that they're very different from book to book, but there seems to be some sort of a very simple little white or a parchment color piece of paper that is affixed to the inside bottom right of the back cover, and it looks to be some sort of a record keeping system that shows like which section it's supposed to be in, who cataloged the book, and then like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a supervisory signature. And so you see two different signatures. One clearly is hers, so another seems to be another employee of the university, and then it just says the section that it belonged in, and you can see the ones she's showing you had different sections. So this book that's missing should have this archiving feature in the back, and it should show the section you all were in, and my signature at the bottom.
Very well. I'll keep my eye out for this book. I'm very inclined to study it myself, and once I find it, I'll bring it back.
As I told your friend, if you do happen to find it and recover it, please bring it here, and I shall definitely reward you for your efforts. I will appreciate the return of any book. Plus, if you can tell me who happened to abscond with it, I will make sure they are permanently trespassed from these facilities.
Very well.
It's a weird way of saying killing them.
No. Trespass. Not allowed. Not permitted here anymore.
I'll make sure they understand the error of their ways as well.
Very well. Appreciate that, of course.
Yeah, she's gonna fucking kill him.
I'm sorry, what?
What? Nothing.
It's a book. No need for bloodshed. As Pipwick, you are, even though it's upside down and you have to like manipulate it a couple times, you do find the items that the librarian indicated are also in your book. The front left bottom emblem, and then the back right archival card.
Perfect. So I can match it up later.
Correct.
Hey, as he flips it around, can I prestidigitate some like tiny snippets of paper, obviously not real ones, that fall out like a. It says I can do a shower of sparks, so kind of like that. But you know,
sure, I'll allow that. Yeah,
like tiny paper cuts that don't actually cut.
Yeah, a bunch of little tiny pieces of paper flutter out of the book as you manipulate it around in different shapes and positions, trying to look for this.
Like, I'll just be like, this book's fucking cool.
Perfect, brilliant.
At this point, I'm just thinking that Pipwick's never seen a book before.
I mean, by the way he's manipulating this one and looking at it, that's not a far off statement. That's probably not a far off assumption.
I like to think that the goblin language sounds like that weird scatting part of Freak on a Leash by Korn. So yeah, I've probably never seen a book.
All right. I for sure appreciate the time in the library. I don't know about the rest of my group, but I feel we are taking our leave now.
And the librarian's already returned back to her work.
I glance around to make sure we're complete before departing.
I start walking out holding my book in both hands in front of me like I'm a little kid.
I just imagine cross-armed, corner in corner of the book, walking out, such a happy face.
We didn't get another member of the party. We adopted a child.
I mean, Pipwick is what age? That is technically
he's 12.
adulthood?
He's 12.
Technically adulthood.
I want a refund.
All right. Well, Pipwick leads the charge out of this building. I would say Kyria would follow the rest of you guys, unless anybody else would be lingering. I would, we could assume that you guys do exit the library.
Oh, speaking of, just a quick relapse, recovery, and like a rewind here. Those creatures that also were chaos magic and tuned. Rhea would have been also researching them a little bit.
Okay. You didn't seem to find any record of mention of these creatures in any of the books you studied.
Okay. Just to, make sense of why she went over there in the first place.
So where to now? Once Dax will ask once they leave the library.
I gotta get my posters.
True. We haven't gone and
you would know you have
those yet.
You would know you need a little more time because you weren't in the library super long. You were in there for a little while, but she said it would be a couple of hours before she could get the posters to you.
Okay.
What's the time of day compared to when we started everything?
At this point, after leaving the library, you're almost smack dab at noon.
We've been in the library, what, half an hour maybe?
Yeah, about half an hour, 40 minutes. Give or take.
Together.
Yeah, give or take. And you got to this district kind of later morning, so it'd be almost smack dab noon at this point.
Anybody care for lunch?
Me, we're closer to Wand.
Is there any other locations here? I don't travel to University Row very much.
You mean other than the Wizard and Wand?
Other than there, no.
There's probably a trash can that we can find something in.
Oh my gosh, I'm not eating out of a trash can, you
Visibly
idiot.
disgust, but no words.
Literally, Rhea is saying at the same time as Dax, I'm not eating trash.
Hey, dear DM, given my
Yes.
frequency in this district, would I know of another eatery?
You would not know of any other eateries in the other than the Wizard and the Wand in the University District, due to the fact that most of the businesses in this area are businesses that are focused towards the study of magic or the selling of magic things, or etc. The Wizard and the Wand is pretty much the only one in this district that caters to drink or eating. You'd have to travel to a different district probably for something beyond that.
Maybe at Hazel Hill, but you're not going to find anything else in the row.
Fair.
You guys think I'd look good in a monocle?
No.
In a monocle?
Yeah, like
Maybe.
wearing a monocle. Okay. You think I could pull it off?
Oh,
Dax at
wearing
this
one.
point, Dax at this point is taking her hands and just rubbing them over her face and like, what is this?
I have the book open and there's a character wearing a monocle in it.
Yeah, there's as he
Can
turns
I
as he turns
prestidigitate a monocle for him to try?
Yeah, you can put one on his face, I think. Hold on, wait. Let me double check.
No, that would be minor illusion.
That was said to be minor illusion. I was like, as soon as I said that.
Minor illusion has said.
Oh, actually, you can create a
A
non-magical
sound or
trinket
an
or an
image.
illusion. Yeah.
Yes, that's
You can
why I
create a
went to
non-magical trinket that
prestidigitation.
lasts until the end of your next turn. So yeah, you can make one for 6 seconds.
It'll last an hour. Prestidigitation.
Only some of the effects.
Oh.
It lasts until the end of your next turn. So.
Oh, so
for
yeah,
a
for
short
for
while-
6 seconds, there's a monocle on your face.
So basically, Rhea will say, "Take a look in the window and look at your reflection."
I'll look and then I'll like
Snaps her finger, and the monocle will appear for a moment.
I'll like look in the window and then I'll just start to get out. Get out of here! This is a place of learned, and then it disappears.
And from the other side of the glass, after you you kind of like refocus, and you're no longer focused on your reflection, but you're focused on like the other side of the glass. You see a small child that was like holding like a bag of goods or something, and is like looks scared, and then just darts off into the distance of the room on the other side of the glass.
I try to give her like a grin, and it's real creepy.
Oh yeah, they just bolts, and you just hear.
Yeah, it's like sharp goblin teeth.
Yeah, and just terrified runs back into the end.
Okay, so we didn't adopt a child. We adopted a demon.
An agent of chaos.
I believe we already have 3 of those technically.
Not wrong.
Sure.
Actually, technically, tieflings aren't demons. Clarify that.
Yeah, they're half devils.
One of them is half demon. Anyways.
I'm gonna point back to the girl that ran away from the window, and I'm gonna be like, I don't think I can pull it off.
I snap my fingers and another style of monocle appears. Like if the previous one was round, this one's slightly more like rectangular.
I'm gonna go back to the window.
Is this turning into a fashion show?
I guess so. Yeah, you focus on your reflection, and it's it's more square than the other one was, and it's like very uncomfortable on your face. It's kind of like it doesn't make it physically doesn't make sense looking at it, and it fades before you can even really like make anything out.
No reactions from the other side of the glass, though.
No, there's no one there this time.
Okay, well then in that case, it looks good. I'll turn around. Yeah, if I'm ever gonna get one, I think I'll get one that looks more like that.
Fair enough.
Trying to picture anyone with a square monocle, and I'm like, man, that's gotta hurt.
I mean, my glasses are square-ish.
Yes, but
Well,
monocles are held in by basically like you squinting and holding it down with like your skin, like friction, and that's why they're circular. So I'm like trying to imagine a square monocle that you're like. Oh, that
rounded corners, sir. Rounded corners.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I'm thinking
Beauty
like
is pain.
I'm thinking perfect square. I was like,
Beauty
No.
is pain.
all right.
Anywho.
I
I think we've made the decision of Wizard and Wand because it's the closest thing.
okay. Yeah, it's not far. It's a short walk away.
If people are uncomfortable going there, we can continue going south and look around the Hazel Hill. There's probably some eatery there.
Why would any of us be uncomfortable going there? Sorry, I've never been here.
I'm just going to ignore that comment and look at the rest of the group.
I have no
No.
qualms until I start getting very hungry, and then we'll have issues.
I'm all set. I don't really care where we go.
The wand it is.
Okay. So you guys head just a little ways down the street, and Talina kind of leads the way to one of her haunts of the Wizard and the Wand. You guys get to the, not the end of the street, because the street goes all the way through the district and into the next one, but you get to where it stops curving and starts to straighten out, and that is where a side street starts. And at the corner of that side street and the main drag of University Row here, you get to the Wizard and the Wand, which is a very nice but simple-looking exterior with excuse me, with a sign hanging from two metal chains on a metal post, and it's this very simple but kind of cute imagery of a wizard's cap and a wand kind of crisscrossed with each other in sort of this little glimmered glow effect that seems to wrap around it. And the glimmered glow effect actually has some magical properties that makes it glow a bit. This is not anything new to Talina. Rhea, you've been here before as well. It looks the same to you. Just kind of that warm sense of returning here. As you guys step inside, it's the same kind of small, cozy-ish space in the main room. You do notice that today the door is open on the... So when you first walk in, it basically, as soon as you walk in the door, there's a staircase. There's like a small base landing you're at, and then there's a staircase that goes up. And then you can go immediately to the left, and that puts you into the main area that, Talina, you've been in many times. There's a fireplace on the far wall. There's several like wooden booths that are carved into the wall, and a few small tables, but most of them are booths in this space. And then in the back left corner, there's a very simple L-shaped bar that that a worker would be at. But today, the door that is open, that opening is there. But there's also a door on the right that's open that leads into a much larger sitting area that's just all tables and chairs. And Talina, you would know this space is like that. The staff of Wizard and Wand opens this space when they have a lot of students that are going to be coming, so they have extra room for them. And the whole room is full of students, but it's kind of soft murmurs and whatnot, and it's very clear there's a lot of students and even some professors that are in there working on paperwork and studying. And occasionally you'll see a staff member that'll go for either through the back, the kind of this big loop, and they can go through the back side. You see them kind of dip in and then dip out, and seem to be going into the kitchen to fetch food or drink. So while it still feels kind of soft and cozy, it's very clear that one side of the business is packed.
Which of the two sides is the stage on?
The small stage that you performed at before is in the main room with the bar, so the left one. The other one has another little area that could be a stage, but typically it's not used, as they really only use that section for kind of overflow for the students who want somewhere to study that's not their dormitory or the library.
Gotcha. I would kind of usher us towards the left-hand side, the quieter area, the bar.
Okay.
Given the sheer amount of people that are on the other side, and our conversations are probably not for listening ears.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so you guys dip into the more common section of the Wizard and the Wand, the one that most patrons go to. And there is a set of, there's a man and a woman, humans that seem to be sitting at the windowed table that's kind of like, more or less almost immediately like in front of you when you first dip in, and then you cut right to head towards the bar. And there seems to be nobody else in this particular section. Seems to be rather quiet on this side, but you notice a couple staff members dip into through a doorway that seems to go like underneath the stairs into the other room, and they keep kind of shuttling back and forth with platters of different drinks and food, kind of on almost like a rhythmic scale of them dipping in and out. However, you do look up and you do see good old Bobathan standing behind the L-shaped counter, who is vigorously cleaning tankards.
Bobathan.
Yep.
Best NPC name.
Yeah, right. That's what happens
That
when you
was
guys...
definitely one of the NPC names of all time.
Yeah, it's one you threw at me.
I mean, listen, I've heard Billethy before, so...
Yeah, I thought Bobathan was choice.
I have one in mind.
It was a choice, sir. It definitely was a choice.
It was a choice. Yeah, it was a choice.
I'll head up to there was 6 of us, 7 of us. Ask for 1 bowl of water for the dog, and
Put the dog.
Okay.
a little early for proper drinking.
It's lunch.
Who's up for booze? And you just scan
Me.
scan for hands up.
I'll take some wine.
Pipwick raises his hand very quickly.
Even with your hand raised, it doesn't even reach the shoulder of some of your traveling companions. Okay. Bobathan,
So three yeses.
Bobathan
I
looks
don't know
up.
if Dax has been able to respond yet, but
Yeah, we'll go with 3 ciders and 4 unfermented ones. And the bowl of water for the dog.
Red. I don't know if he's got. Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. Bobathan looks up and says, "Oh, good to see you there. You said you wanting what now?"
3 apple ciders and 4 unfermented apple ciders. The
Unfermented.
alcohol-free ones.
Oh, so the
He
orange.
served them before. I have them in my notes.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry. I missed I misunderstood there. No problem. Okay. So yeah, he kind of gets the head count and says, "All right. So how many total drinks was that?"
And the bowl of water for the dog.
7 and the other bowl of water.
Okay. So it's gonna be like, gosh, you're making me do math today.
It's D&D. It's Shiny Math Rock Simulator.
Yes, but I didn't want to just. Yeah. That's gonna be about. It'd be 5 gold there for all that.
Holy shit!
Did I get that? Hold on. Do I do my math right? Hold on. Because the Hillsider's 8. Oh, that's. I'm sorry. Hang on. Back up. I misread my own notes. That's copper, not silver. Hang on. Hang on. It's very small notes. I apologize. It's the font on this
5
program.
silver then. Yeah.
So 5 silver,
yes.
not 5 gold. Yes. Sorry. Correction.
Okay.
5 silver, not 5 gold.
Looks like y'all are getting fleeced.
That's my fault. I'm so sorry. I was like, that seems high. All right, whatever. That's what I have in my notes.
Everybody's sitting here like, oh my god, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's chump change.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry,
I
there.
looked at
We're
my
really
inventory
busy.
and was like, fuck that.
Good thing you're not paying for it, as I.
Yeah, sorry about
Somebody
that.
is
There,
saying.
we've got so many over there that it's throwing me off on the count, and my math's all screwed up. Plus, I can charge a lot for the college students, so I apologize there. Let me get that out to you right away. Any food for you?
Wow. Upcharging the
He's a
college
businessman. Come on.
He's a. I cannot say words.
Special.
I was
You
waiting.
guys
he's
offer a military discount?
Oh my
he looks around for who that is, and he like leans forward and says, "Oh, I didn't see you down there. My apologies. A what? A military discount? Are you in the city guard there?"
No, I was just curious.
Oh, I mean, not typically. We do offer a small discount occasionally to new students.
What if it's one of our birthdays?
Is it your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to regret that decision, sir.
This is deception check.
Just for the giggles, I'm gonna insight as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Go ahead.
I want to give Bobathan the biggest wink that I can get away with without
I'm
the
happy
little one
with that.
looking.
Holy balls.
That was the most perfect insight check I could get.
You want to give Bobathan a wink, you said?
Yeah, I want to give him the most obvious wink I can without Pipwick noticing, as a go along, make it super cringy kind of way.
He kind of like
Rhea just rolls her eyes.
he genuinely seems to believe Pipwick. Rhea, he's full of crap.
Rolling eyes, like the most exaggerated sighing expression. Like,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a day.
Bobathan kind of leans back and says, "Oh, I didn't know that. Happy birthday there." And he catches Talina and sees the wink, and he winks back and says, "Well, we don't do a discount, but I'll bring out a complimentary birthday drink. How's that sound?"
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Not a problem there. Happy you're celebrating with us.
At least one of you guys remembered, right? And I point to like everybody behind me.
He kind of looks around and says, "Yeah, you know what? I understand it, though. Everyone's got different things on their mind. But yeah, I'll bring that all out here in a minute there." And he scurries back into the kitchen area, and you can hear the shuffling of platters and drinks, platters and cups and stuff.
He did ask what's for food, and I asked him what the daily special was.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. I missed that. I did not hear that. So before he goes back, he says, "Oh, for the specials today, we've got a roast pork. Oh my gosh, what's the word? Gosh darn it. We got a hunk of roast pork and some steamed vegetables."
I look around to see if anybody looks interested or hungry. Come on, it's my treat. Who wants some?
Yeah, pork, please.
That's 1, 2. Anyone else?
3.
3.
Selena wants one as well. Would Kyria
Rhea
want
will
one?
take some.
I'll say that Kyria probably would have taken. She said she'd take the vegetables. I think she'd. I honestly don't know, so I would say she'd take the vegetables and she'd steer away from the pork for now. I'm guessing.
What the squirrel doing?
What squirrel do?
I'll do squirrel things.
Yes, food or no food?
I was gonna say, yeah, there was a bigger question there.
Okay. Squirrel do undead squirrel things. No food.
Yeah.
No food. Okay.
Yeah. You realize, Tippy, you don't feel hungry or thirsty. Like, you see everyone ordering food and you feel like, oh, I should probably get something, but you're like, I don't feel hungry.
So 6 then? Nobody said no except for the squirrel.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so I'll get 6 of those. 1 meatless. Actually, no. 1 with the meat separate. And I look at Scorch.
Oh, of course, yeah. And you said 6 people there? Okay. He's like, all right, well, that'll be 18 silver there for all the food.
Put 2 gold on the
Okay. He takes it.
on the counter for the food, yeah.
And he slides back over the change.
Nope.
Oh, and he
Leaving that on the counter.
Thank you very much there. And he takes this, all right, well, I'll have your food out and your drinks out here in just a lickety-split there. And he runs back to the kitchen. And there's plenty of space in here for you guys to take up. There's 2 small tables that are left over near the fireplace. You guys could scoot together, or you guys could take up 2 separate booths, like, that are back to back, essentially. Up to y'all.
Yeah,
With me
following everybody
conversation
else.
awkward, I would probably grab the table and start shoving them together a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, easily done. And you guys have essentially one larger-ish table with the 2 circular tables butted up against each other and plenty of room for everybody. And you're far enough away from the patrons over near the window that if you don't, like, yell, Pipwick, they may not hear you.
Oh, let me roll for it.
Yeah, let's see how quiet you can be.
I'm speaking like half volume.
Okay, you're good enough. I mean, there's plenty of ambient noise coming from the adjacent space that it would cover you up.
All right.
So you guys take a seat at the table. It's several minutes before Bobathan returns with a large wooden tray with all of the tankards of hill cider that you guys have ordered, as well as some of the non-fermented or non-alcoholic hill cider, which is basically a really good apple cider. Pipwick, you've tasted hill cider before. It's not common in your typical haunts that you've been in, but because it's a little bit of a slightly higher quality alcohol than what you find elsewhere, it's by no means like an ale. It's much more fruity. It's basically a hard apple cider essentially, but like, you know, it's fermented and made pretty well. You know about it. It's relatively common in Darun.
I tried to make it in a toilet. Yeah.
Didn't go well. The food comes out piping hot and still steam coming off of it. Smells delicious. He brings out the separate pork that was requested for the dog. He has it on a separate plate. He puts the vegetables down. Kyria politely takes the platter of the steamed vegetables and starts to eat those. But everything else is divvied out to each of you, and he nods politely, says, if you need anything else, just give me a holler. I'll be right over there. And he turns around and walks back behind the bar.
I take a bite, mouth completely full. Mm-hmm. So is this like a blood oath type situation you guys got going on, or like what's happening?
What gave you that idea?
Listen, all right? We're going around. I'm just, happy duty following you guys around. Nobody's telling me what we're doing. Nobody's telling me what we're looking for. Nobody's telling me anything. And so I'm just thinking that you guys have like a blood pact and I gotta fucking kill somebody before I know anything.
Kyria just raises her eyebrow with a mouthful of food as she just softly and quietly continues to eat her vegetables, and she just kind of glances at you.
You said there was a human couple in the room? Far enough away that regular voice tone wouldn't hear,
far enough away. And
something tells me that Pipwick's not quiet enough.
Well, actually, you stepped away. He rolled to see how loud he was. He is, in fact, speaking at a quiet enough volume based on his roll. However, if he yells loud enough, or if anyone yells loud enough, it will absolutely get their attention. But at a normal volume, there's enough ambient sound from the adjacent chamber that it kind of drowns out most of the other sounds, provided you guys aren't talking super loudly.
Well, let's not openly talk about murders, but no, it's not a requirement. It does happen occasionally, but they deserved it.
I mean, I'm just saying, guys, secrets don't make friends, okay? We're friends. Just calling it how I see it.
He's been with us for a day and is kind of working with us. I don't like to divulge secrets very easy, but he is technically a part of this team.
I don't need to know everything. Just what are we looking for? I've never been in that building in my life. That was the first time in 12 gruelingly long years I've been in that building.
Between her cup in one hand and her forehead in the other. At the mention of 12 grueling long years.
Yeah, because how old's Selena? Not 12.
20 times that.
Yeah, I was gonna say she old in comparison.
She's gonna be celebrating her 250th birthday next year.
Jeez, she's been around.
She's relatively young for elves.
She is, yeah.
I forget what he knows and what he doesn't know.
What Pipwick knows?
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
I was gonna say not a lot. So from what I can clarify from the DM's perspective, Pipwick was obviously present for the conversation at the Lucky Tankard regarding the gem. It's very clear visually that that Tippy is under, that something's going on, but he didn't know Tippy beforehand. So there is that. He overheard some of the conversation about a missing woman from the north side of Daroon. He did catch a name a few times because Cassavus was a little too focused on discovering the mysteries of what's going on rather than keeping names quiet at the table. What else?
I know that Cassavus is a smuggler.
Yes, yeah. Well, and that you'd know by reputation that Cassavus is.
Yeah.
That he's into all sorts of black
and because I
market
fucked
stuff.
his stuff up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that you messed up one of his shipments of radiant silk. Oh, actually, you know what? I will say this, Pipwick. You would know that. Oh gosh, how long ago was this now? probably close to a month ago, actually more like 2 months ago, there was a very big event that happened on the riverside where a large sea serpent erupted from the water, accompanied by some strange humanoid-like sea creatures that attacked the riverside district, attacked the coastline there at the docks. Several people were killed, and a band of misfit heroes kind of rallied together, fought off the humanoid creatures, and slayed the large sea creature beast. And there was like these stories that kind of swam around the riverside district. So you would know that happened a while ago, and that one of the individuals rumored or several of the individuals rumored in that group were kind of match some of the descriptions of this group a little bit, not one to one. It's nowhere. It's not one to one. There's characters from that rumor missing, but some of the individuals here kind of match that description.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking back to like 2 years ago when this campaign started. I was like, wait a minute, how long ago in game was that? Because it wasn't that long ago.
Weeks, maybe.
Well, because there were several weeks between the like episodic shift from party 1 to party 2, and yeah, but the first part of the game lasted about a week, give or take, and then there was like a several week gap, and then there was you guys picking up here, and it's been there's been days, and so I'm kind of, it's been less than 2 months since that happened.
Wouldn't be fresh enough in my mind to bring up immediately then.
No, and you know what? Actually, one more thing, Pipwick, roll me a history check for another thing that probably would be in your scope of noticing things in recent months or weeks. Okay, yeah, with a 13. Something else that you would have noticed in recent weeks is that a very infamous, well-known, annoying criminal group in the city of Daroon called the Low Hood Gang, which are known as basically just thugs, not very bright, just your run-of-the-mill pickpockets and bruisers that just basically make people's lives annoyingly miserable and steal from whoever they can get their hands on. This group was like very commonplace and seen kind of everywhere, and has basically vanished off the face of the earth in like the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to think of some other events in the city that you would have run into or bumped into. I think that'd be the only like citywide stuff that you would have experienced in the last couple of weeks or months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, do with that information as you will.
You know that criminal group that has miraculously disappeared?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Not to say it wasn't so miraculous.
They've rehomed me a few times.
They've what?
They've rehomed me, kicking over barrels and tents and stuff.
Yeah, they would have been absolute assholes to you. Like they wouldn't have like robbed.
They would have made my life miserable.
Yeah, they would have been like the schoolyard bullies to you all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal how much experience I have with them, but it's a lot.
Well, let's just say we solved that problem. And we have a suspicion that maybe that problem isn't fully resolved and has ties in high places. We're trying to find those ties.
Well, there's no higher place than the city council, and if I get into the council, then I can figure that out for you.
What do you know about the council? Specifically the people on the council?
Honestly, absolutely nothing.
I see. So, the name that Cassavus may have accidentally dropped. And I'm like trailing that sentence off to see Pipwick's reaction.
Yeah, I'm like completely blank staring at you.
I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. You have no idea what she's talking about.
Means absolutely nothing to you. Excellent. Cool. So, yeah, anybody want to fill in here?
Said person miraculously disappeared.
Well, said person's
Though
wife.
said person's wife disappeared while we were trying to have a conversation with her. No idea where she went. And before she was gone, we got an invite to head towards the council district. Do a little bit of digging our own. While Telena was set to perform.
Knowing full well he can't read, I'm gonna slide this onto the table. Let me just do this so that actually shows the text. And then play in chat. I have an appointment to perform. Sometime this week at this point? Question mark to the DM? Was it still next week or is that this week?
I'm trying to think. Trying to think what day of the week it would be. I think basically you're like, if I remember correctly, you're basically at the end of that week. So technically the answer is next week, but only by technicality. It's yeah, you're less than a 7-day week out from when you'd be able to go perform there.
Oh, that reminds me. Was I
probably like
supposed
5
to
days
be
away.
one of the performers with you? Or merely an assistant?
Are you up for being on stage?
Truth be told, I would rather not.
Well then maybe not. Especially now that I could potentially, and you can hear the regret getting bigger word for word, potentially have a stage partner. Just that last word almost comes out with disgust.
Did you slide that note over to me?
I just put it on the table.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like in
I
front
have
of you.
pulled it towards me, and I'm opened my book, and I'm like pointing at words in the book, and then like searching for them in the like note.
He's turned a child's fairy tale into a common translation book.
I'm like hooked on phonics.
Yes.
Like
Just
And this is like noble document, so there's many
Yes.
words in there with way too many syllables to fit in
and
the
it's in a
children's book.
very
Yeah, like, I'm, like, looking
fine
for, like,
script.
I'm like looking for like fairy or like because I'm trying to like I know what the picture is, but and like so I can make out the context of what the word is.
Just for kicks and giggles, roll me an intelligence check at disadvantage.
All right, that's gonna be real bad.
Oh, it's gonna be wonderful, is what it's gonna be. Bro, what?
That's
The
fine.
dice wish to tell a
Yeah.
tale.
Okay.
This is a party of learned doctors.
As you are attempting to tourist guide your way through this child's book and use it to decipher this very eloquent missive that has been drafted by a very like delicate hand. Like, this is probably one of the fanciest written pieces of paper you've ever seen. It's like super fancy script that doesn't even look like common, even though you recognize common language. It just looks super fancy. Obviously very feminine, and it's like twirls and it's up curves and everything. Written on a letterhead that has for the rest of you guys, you see that it's the Arkwright's letterhead. It has a big A written in the corner of it. You do recognize the letter A, but it's like the fanciest A you've seen. With a 12, you recognize like the basic words of like the, them, this, and like the, you know, your middle words. You don't get any like proper nouns or anything like that. This is not a translation book, so it's not very successful in your attempts, other than like, oh, I know some of these words level of translation.
I was literally putting that gif.
Yeah, that's literally what this is like. You're like, yes, I know some of these words, and it's none of the words that have any import.
Yeah. All right, so I'll like kind of be trying to piece things together, and then I'll look up and I'll be like, "Are you talking to me?"
Cause for regret. Maybe. How good are you at catching swords?
Like, tap my finger to my chin. How hard are you planning to throw them?
I'm gonna repeat. How good are you at catching?
Honestly, probably not my strongest suit, but I can learn. I can give it a try.
You might be able to make this work. Yeah, sure. I could use a stagehand.
Awesome. I got a job.
Got your first gig.
Ask, not a job. Unfortunately, we don't get paid for this one. In coin. As I wink towards the people who know that they're out there to gather information.
You said it's at the council place?
I bunch up the papers and put them back into the pouch and then in my big pouch. Yes. The
Cool, I can hang
husband
some
of the
flyers
missing
there.
lady is part of the council, and it's his anniversary we're going for. She turns to Dax, who's subtly speaking in whatever the hell that is.
I think that's
The Infernal?
Oh
Nope.
No,
That is not.
Does anybody here? Oh, I don't think anybody here.
I don't.
Hang on. I think. Nope. Tippy doesn't. Let me see if Kyria does. Kyria doesn't.
Rhea doesn't understand a thing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here speaks that language. So you just hear her say, "It's okay." So the language comes out kind of. I assume this is under your breath, Daxori.
Yeah.
Okay. You do all hear it because you're all sitting at the same table, but it literally just sounds kind of like this, not as raspy and is like like metal singing as infernal or abyssal, but it does sound kind of guttural, but it sounds a little bit higher pitched and a little bit more melodic, and it sounds it actually doesn't sound like aggressively bad. It just is a little more guttural. But no one here understands what she says. I'm not sure who she's speaking to, but it's because I can read it.
Oh, she's not speaking to anyone. It's just a wish.
Mm-hmm. It's just going into the ether.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys do hear her kind of say this randomly to herself.
Are you okay, Dax?
She would not.
Could I get like not the meaning of the phrase, but can I get like a tone? Is it more of an angry or like a sigh with words, or would that not be a thing I could do given the language?
No, I feel like you at least get the inflection, but that'd be for I'm assuming Shadow that Dax is more being like kind of like sighing it out, like, oh my gosh.
No, she would be kind of like, it's kind of like a like she's wishing for it to happen. So she's very much she's very much saying it in a not an angry manner, not necessarily in a happy manner, kind of like in a wishing manner, like, I hope this happens, I hope it happens, I hope it happens.
Oh, I see. Ty understood the assignment. But yes, we are attempting to gather info as to why and where she's gone. And we have suspicion it might be related to that group of misfits.
So you guys are like spies.
That's a description. And Rhea will take a sip of her drink.
It's not wrong. It's not correct. Spies implies a certain level of involvement with government of sorts.
So if I get elected to the council, you guys are like spies.
No, I would never work for you.
I'm not hiring you.
Well, then we won't be spies, because we won't be working for the government.
When you
And we
say
aren't.
when you say spies, you're inferring some sort of allegiance. Our allegiance at the moment is to the highest bidder. More or less.
The only bidder at the moment, but yeah.
So you guys are
At Dax's comment, Rhea's gonna kind of like hold up her cup for a second and go back to taking sips.
When you
so
said
you all are mercs.
That would be a more apt description.
Of varying types.
when you
I like
said
look up at the ceiling.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Neon.
I was just gonna say when you guys were talking about that, like, for the highest bidder. Well, there's only one bidder. I thought of the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean. It was like, we work for the highest bidder. I have a ship. That makes you the highest bidder. Like, that was.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna like look up at the ceiling and be like, "I made it," and then I'm gonna look back down.
Anywho, if we are to share a stage at such a fancy event, some practice might be in order. And we should probably like lock down a date to do this. And given that we need to now practice an entirely new routine, especially size,
After my
Perhaps
flyers are done.
later in the week. I mean, your flyers aren't going anywhere, right?
Well, they're gonna go on the walls of the city council district. So they're going somewhere.
Oh, dear DM,
Mm-hmm.
would I know enough about the local laws, question mark, about posting random posters on government buildings?
Roll me a history check. Oh, good lord.
Didn't even really think about that part.
Come on, that was a 15. It fell the wrong way.
Nope, that's a 6, my guy. You don't know enough about local customs and laws about what as it pertains to advertisements and loitering essentially on or around government buildings. You have seen many posters in and around town just pretty much slapped up on almost any wall. But there's never been any sort of oh, I just realized Fox had to leave.
Nope.
Yeah, Fox left like a few moments ago.
I just saw that. I was busy doing something.
It's okay.
Yeah, you do not know enough about local laws to know if that would be illegal or illegal. All of you guys have seen posters slapped up on walls many a time.
I'm not sure about the legality of putting it in the city council district, but you're not gonna get a big audience there at the very least, because not many people are allowed to go in there. You'd have more luck like the market and the here actually.
Also, if you place it in the city council district, there's a higher likelihood that you may upset the king.
Here we go again.
Did we already gaslight him once about that?
Yes, we did.
Good.
Yeah.
And I don't think he saw through it.
Well,
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Not like he's never heard of a king, basically.
But he couldn't find anything that said I was lying.
Correct. It didn't seem like you were lying. It was just more of he had never heard of a king before. This was the first he'd ever heard of it in 12 years of living.
That fucking Monty Python thing keeps popping into my head.
You don't vote for a king.
I didn't vote for one.
You don't vote for a king. Now we see the dangers inherent in the system. Wait till my wife runs in here quoting that scene.
Wait, how quiet can one make a harmless sensory effect that is faint musical notes? If I were to cast prestidigitation right next to Dax's ear, could have it be just her that hears it?
I mean, rules as written, I don't see why you couldn't. It doesn't specify anything regarding like radius or volume, just that it's a small little noise. So I'd say that you could do that, yeah.
I'm terrible at miming tones, but you know that trombone noise where he goes from a neutral pitch tone to a lower one that clearly emphasizes disappointment? You hear that one, yeah.
Oh, that
you
one,
hear
yes,
that in your ear.
Amazing.
Actually, I actually have that as a soundboard.
Dax is gonna freak out because all of a sudden she's just hearing something in her ear.
Yeah, just hearing a trombone in your right ear, just suddenly.
Yeah,
there.
so she jumps out of her chair
randomly with no warning, cause, or reason. And at this point, with you jumping out of your chair,
sound bit.
Lovely. With jumping out of the chair, the patrons over in the window seat do, in fact, kind of like look startled and kind of jolt a look in your direction.
Are you okay there?
I'm gonna like
Sorry.
I'm gonna be shit-eating grit on my face. Keep it down. People are looking at us.
Dax looks over at the goblin and
at the goblin.
And you can see her hair like starts to just get a little bit more fiery. Say that one more time and my hand will end up down your throat so far that you will never be able to speak.
I'm not gonna say it again.
Oh, but you want to.
I don't get to say that to people very often, so I like to do it when I can.
And again, you say it to me one more time, my hand will end up so far down your throat you won't be able to speak again. So good luck running for your election or whatever with that. And with that, she sits back down.
You always like this?
She looks back over at him after sitting down. Only to people who annoy me.
Like, I get it, I'm annoying, but you're genuinely unbearable sometimes.
I'm genuinely gonna stab you if you don't keep your mouth quiet.
I cross my arms. Cross my arms. Point proven.
Jeez.
And with that, she just looks over at Rhea and just smiles.
Just.
What?
Kyria kind of gives Dax a look of like, how do I describe it? Kind of like the maybe cool your jets sort of look.
Rhea in like halfway disappointed, halfway this is just her, gives like a very slight smile and a thumbs up, almost as if she's saying, "You really should just quit while you're ahead right now."
To me or to the
not really quit while you're ahead, but you should really stop making a scene. Like without saying it, she's just kind of thumbs up and looking at her drink and then back at Dax.
Dax understands and would nod and would do as Rhea has told her to do and would stop making a scene and would just kind of sit there quietly.
Question, did we actually get our food yet?
Oh yeah, no, he brought it out already. He brought
Okay,
he brought
so
everything out.
We
and-
finished. I'm assuming we finished.
Yeah, depending on how fast you guys want to consume your eateries, yeah, you'd be done with your food and your drink at this point.
Oh, I was talking. Yeah, I was talking with my mouth full that entire time.
Yeah, food scraps everywhere.
I hate people who do that.
I do too,
That
but
is
it makes sense for a
annoying
goblin.
as heck, but anyways, yes. Well, this was a great meal, I suppose. We should go pick up your flyers, though.
You would know you'd have some more time till they're going to be ready.
How long would be the walk from here
not
to
a
get
lot.
there?
Not a lot. It's not a very big district. Not a long walk. A couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's
Then
you weren't here very long, so.
Rewinding that. What shall we do now? There's plenty of other places to go and look around, and truth be told, I want to try and find that missing book.
I don't think we'll find it without
It is
What's
definitely on
the
our
word?
list, but
I don't think we'll
High
find
on
it
the list?
without Huh?
is that a high on our list kind of task though?
Not necessarily, but it's on mine.
You should print some flyers.
Dax looks over at Rhea like, can I strangle him, please?
I turned towards Fitwick.
Was that a
and-
whisper to Rhea?
Yeah, no, Dax is looking at Rhea and whispering it like, can I strangle him, please?
Not yet. He still owes me a favor.
Fine.
Rhea's just rubbing her temple.
What part of that is a bad idea? You're looking for a book. We can.
That was specifically to Rhea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was. You could try and, I guess, make out what was said if it was a whisper. And I'm sorry,
Let me-
Ty. I know you've been trying to say something.
No, that's fine.
Let me incite that, please.
Yeah, you can. Of course, go. I mean, yeah, if you want to insight something.
Yes.
Well, it was a whisper, so.
Oh,
I don't know if it's an
Yeah,
insight.
would it be
Oh.
perception?
yeah.
True.
I'm sorry, I
Would it-
misunderstood
would
that.
it-
It would be
yeah.
a perception before you do an insight, so we have to see if you can even hear it. So go ahead and roll me a perception check first. My apologies, I missed that it was a whisper.
I will go ahead and just do a stealth if that is fine.
Yeah, it'll be contested. So you're gonna be against his his perception.
Yeah, no. Rhea's comment kind of got a little loud.
Yep, for sure. So you absolutely heard it, Pipwick. So now, if you want to roll insight, you can do that.
At least
which
Rhea's
you already
comment.
did. So he rolled an insight 16. So is it? I'm sorry. Is the insight against Rhea or Dax?
I just want to
You wanted to hear?
be able to make the inference that they think this is a bad idea.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha.
that's
Then it's gonna be either deception or persuasion to Hellrhea based on.
I mean, Rhea was just speaking facts about he still owes me a favor,
That's fine.
and that's why. So, if that is her truth,
Yeah.
we'll do persuasion.
No, I mean you can choose to just say
But-
that without
Yeah,
like
no,
picking one.
that's
so.
literally it. Then
Yeah.
just ignore the dice roll. But
Yeah.
she was legit with what she was saying. Did he hear Dax's part of the whisper? Is the question.
Well, we already rolled a perception, so it'll just be a stealth check from Dexori then as well, against the
If
same
Dax
DC.
wishes to give that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to like lead the.
No, you're fine. I was
No,
I
not
was
at all.
fixing OBS because I forgot Tippy left, so I was fixing the headshot for Tippy, and I was a little distracted there for a second. So
I got that
Fixing the
one.
head, fixing the head for Tippy actually moved.
it
I
moved
think
everybody.
Rhea,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes based on height, so everybody's now getting their heads cropped off. So
Oh
unfortunately,
no.
that's a bigger issue I'm not fixing right now. So.
How's Talena still fits?
Yep. What did Daxori get on the stealth check?
Nat 1.
Okay, so yeah, you
Oh
also.
my god, 2 now.
Yeah, wow. That means you definitely heard Daxori's side of it as well.
That's the only time that I'm ever gonna do that against a rogue.
Technically 2 rogues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That is never gonna
No,
happen
but
again in history of this campaign.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go back on with my little rant. Like, what part of this do you guys think is a bad idea? You're looking for a book. We have an idea that it's probably gonna be in this area of town. So what is such a bad idea about having flyers and then just hoping somebody turns it in?
We don't
wrong
want to
party.
broadcast that we're looking for it.
And the wrong
What's in the-
party, or the party that took the book, might go deeper into hiding and make it harder to find.
What's in the book?
Not of your concern at the moment. We will share with you when we find it relevant.
I think it's kind of
believe
relevant
it's
right
relevant.
now.
Ray is actually going to agree. I believe it is relevant, and I believe we have been keeping a few too many secrets. Which is odd to say, but
If you want to share, go right ahead. But I'm not
it's going to go
I'm
over
not
his
sharing
head
with the weasel.
anyways.
Speaking of going over your head, Pipwick, remind me what the plan is regarding the council, just so I know that you understood and I didn't leave anything important out.
I'm very confused by how that question was worded. Like my part of the plan, like what part of the council? Like me joining the council or us doing the thing at the council?
I was doing the thing at the council.
Yeah, I'm helping you by catching swords, maybe hanging some flyers, maybe not. Your point about the lack of foot traffic is very valid, and I appreciate that. You should pick up a career in a campaign advising.
Maybe.
And then the rest of everybody is gonna do some digging. I don't really know what that means.
And not to make you feel like you're being left out, but I have a feeling that the less we know what the other group's doing, the better, in case there is questions asked by people that we don't want to give answers to. Fair?
I mean, it makes sense.
Like just poofs.
I'm not trying to interrogate you guys. I'm just, at this point, I'm just curious.
That's fair. And I'm sure that when the rest find what we're looking for, everything will be clear.
Curiosity killed the cat.
I don't want you guys to feel like I'm just a worthless tag-along, you know?
As long as you
you're
can keep your tongue tied during crucial points, everything should be fine.
Listen, I've had quite a few bad beatings in my lifetime, all right? I'm a steel trap.
I wish to incite that
Yeah.
into the truth.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And,
I don't blame you one bit on that one.
and then, so then you're gonna roll either persuasion or
Give
deception.
me the truthfulness on that
Yeah.
right now, please.
I mean, unless you can roll higher, deception or persuasion, which that's. Oh, well, okay. What do you got?
Oh, that's so cool.
That was close. That was close. Unfortunately, Reyes is still higher. You don't have to say which one it is. You just need to say basically what the truth is.
Oh, no. There are plenty of stories of me around this town being the exact opposite.
Ray doesn't necessarily know you, but
Well, you know,
from your
You know Cassivus's story of me fucking up
Yes.
his entire shipment by just
Being
opening my
present,
mouth.
like
Yeah.
by walking. Essentially, you stumbled under a horse. Like it wasn't exactly like it was crazy.
all that Ray is going to say after going
thinks
through
it's
with her BS detector.
He thinks it's true, but it's absolutely not true.
Yeah, Rhea's going through with her BS detector and knowing very well that he is a very he's a very loose-lipped individual. Again, if you can be trusted to keep your mouth shut with sensitive details, you will be more in the loop.
All right. Yeah, I can work with that. I lean back in the chair. Yeah, that's good.
Glad we agree.
So what we're looking for is a book on a certain type of magic. You don't need to know the type of magic.
Really, honestly,
Yes.
don't care. I just wanted to know what the book was about.
Yes, it is about a certain type of magic. And the librarian would very much like us to get it back, and I would like to skim through the pages.
Cool. And the book that we're looking for has the same little symbol as my book, and I open mine up and point to it.
Correct.
Do?
All right,
As well as some form of signature on the back pages or back coverings.
between you and me, I'm good at finding small things. So, what is that like? Give me a rough idea of what the outside of the book looks like.
Don't know. But Rhea is going to try and remember with the shape of her hand the rough width of what the amount of pages in the spine would have been.
Yeah, I remember specifically that you took a rough size approximation with your hand, so you're able to recount that as accurately as one can with their hand from memory, indicating that it's a pretty thick book.
Yeah, it should be roughly this thick with its pages, and she's holding out her hand with the thickness.
Pretty chunky book by the look of it. Not the
So-
biggest, but definitely chunkier than definitely bigger than your child's fantasy book.
And I'm not trying to get a lot of detail here. Are we assuming that the book is within the confines of scholars, or has it maybe spread out to other ends of the city?
It could be anywhere at this point.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah.
We don't know when it was last seen. We don't know where it last was other than the library.
And the librarian seems surprised that it got out under her nose.
Is the librarian offering a reward?
Yes.
A slight.
Oh, now I'm motivated.
And just to give him extra motivation, she said she might even vote for you if you run for a political office.
I need a deception check from Dex on that one.
Oh.
You said deception?
Oh, 100% on that one, yeah. Because I don't, unless I as a DM blacked out for 30 seconds, I don't believe the librarian said that.
29.
29?
Yeah, I got nat 20 and then my +9
All
modifier.
right, and then I need an insight from good old Pipwick there.
I can only roll a nat 20.
None of that 19.
Oh, man, yeah. She seems pretty honest. She seems like that's legit.
You said she would even vote for me?
Mm-hmm, that was the response, yeah.
She said she would even be interested in voting for you.
I don't give a shit about her vote. She's too tall for me.
Wow. Okay.
I'm trying to start a union.
Yeah, but you're not gonna get into an office by just telling most of the population that I don't care about your vote. You're too tall. or whatever your excuse is. You're not going to get into an office like that.
He does
like-
have a point.
I tap my chin. You know, you also should be one of my campaign advisors. That's a good point.
I love that this has shifted it from I can't believe he's doing this to how can we help facilitate him getting this office.
From what I can piece together, and I have not sat and watched through the last 2 years, I will admit, but from what I can piece together, in the interest of what they're actively doing right now, me sitting on the council might not be that fucking bad of an idea.
It actually wouldn't.
It's not.
It's not
That's
the
the
dumbest.
truth.
It's not the dumbest idea that's been had in the last 2 years, if we're being honest here.
But that's if he could get the approval of the metaphorical king.
Yes, the fictitious that everyone knows doesn't exist king that needs to sign off on this.
Well,
You gaslight me one more time about this?
Everyone apparently doesn't know whether or not he exists or not. 'cause
No,
we've
you
so
guys are just
far-
really good freaking liars.
We have so far convinced two tax collectors and then an entire outpost of soldiers that there is a
No,
king.
you didn't convince the entire outpost. You just convinced 2 people at the gate who let you in. There's a very big difference to that.
I'm about to just walk outside to one of the professors that's in the other room and go, "What's the king's name?
There's nothing
Just
stopping
give me
you.
the king's name." Just to put an end to this.
I'm crying. I'm just.
And their answer is going to be King Arthur.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's nothing stopping anyone from doing this. It's just that, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Okay, moving on.
Anyway,
For those in the audience that don't know, we have somehow convinced multiple people that there's a king of this continent when in fact there is no king.
Yes, that is correct. And it's still, these deception rolls have been stupid high.
Well, you're talking to 2 rogues that
Yeah, it
are
doesn't-
masters of deceivers.
It doesn't help.
2 rogues, masters of deception. We've got the bard who's kind of in on it as well. The other bard who got gaslit about it.
Mm-hmm.
wait, what do you mean I'm in on it? I never once said there was a king.
Actually, yeah,
Valid.
he is actually. That's
I
right.
had
Talina,
no part of this.
Talina wasn't there for
Valid.
either of those things, and if it hadn't been for you guys like filling her in after the fact, you'd be like, "What's happening now?"
Fair. I believe the question was Tippy asking Dax to be an advisor then?
Tippy? You mean
Pipwick.
Pipwick?
Pipwick, my brain's hurting. It's getting late, but I'm not like tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it getting early here too.
Well, I will take your question or your offer under advisement, and we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days.
That was the most diplomatic answer ever. You are ready for this. Good grief. That was almost more diplomatic than his answers earlier.
I was like, "All right, sounds good."
Oh gosh, he's got that.
I had
now.
I had outdated character art.
He do have the hat, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I propose that given we established that putting the flyers in the council area would be a bad idea, that we iron out some details and then come back for flyering.
That would work for me. Truth be told, I might want to go check my holdings at the ledger hold.
I mean, it's on the way, and I wouldn't mind dropping by there. I have a withdrawal to make.
Is that the plan? You guys are gonna go to the ledger hold?
Nobody has argued it yet.
Yeah, to the city council, past like with the stop at the ledger hold, and then back to the printers for flyering is what I'm suggesting at this point.
We can at least set up the meeting or the event with the
Yeah.
council after we go to pass there. Okay.
I'm just ironing out the details. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys basically get up, clean up whatever mess you made or whatever thing you're leaving, or kind of gather up your stuff there at the table for Bobathan to clean up. Kyria, Tippy basically hops on Talina's shoulder and kind of curls up on the shoulder, just ready for a ride. Kyria dabs her mouth, puts her napkin down on the plate, stands up with you guys, gets ready to leave. You guys start to make your way out of the Wizard and Wand, and unless anyone has a argument, makes your way south to Hazel Hill, towards the direction of the Iron Ledger Hold, which is a short walk. It's not a very long walk. It's probably about a 30-minute walk from where you're at. And you make your way to the south part of the district, to the massive exterior of what some of you have been to before, and for some of you have not been here before. And what you guys see is, let me make sure I get this right. If I can find my mouse, there it is. Okay.
I basically just wanted to come here as an excuse so I could make sure my inventory is all correct.
Sure, yeah. So as you guys round one of the corners in this kind of more compact district, on the corner of two of the main streets in Hazel Hill stands a large, from a distance, some of you think it's the base of a tree trunk, like a massive tree trunk. But as you get closer, you realize it's made of stone. It's just the exterior has a wood-like, bark-like texture to it, and the top of it looks to be like a split tree. But it is actually a very the base of it is a very elegantly carved stone structure with two large columns that flank the doorway, and a large open doorway that leads inside. Inside the building, as you guys step in, is a stone floor with a rotunda that goes up high, and it doesn't seem to be the same height as the height of the building on the exterior, but it is a very tall ceiling. It is another echoey chamber, kind of like when you were in the foyer of the library, but a little bit bigger. At the back of the chamber that you guys are standing in, centered in the room, is a big curved desk that some of you have seen before. On the left side of that desk is another large archway that you can clearly see has a circular walkway that starts to actually decline slightly and then disappears out of view. On the right is another doorway that is closed with large wooden doors, and it appears to lead into some sort of private area. And there are various paintings on the walls, various landscapes of the Darun city, as well as the Durham Hills region that you guys are currently, that the city resides in. As well as some interesting artwork that Pipwick actually catches you recognize the artistic style of some of the subtle elements imbued into this space. While this space seems very sophisticated and very elegant and very high-end, something that you do notice... oh, okay, gotcha, Ty. Something that you do notice within the space is there's subtle influences of goblin culture, kind of sprinkled throughout the space. And you approach the counter, and there, sitting behind the counter, same as before, is a red-skinned kobold with spectacles on and a suit that's a little bit too big for him. He's wearing a black suit today with a red ascot. And as you guys approach, you hear him scribbling away on the other side of the desk. And he doesn't seem to notice you, one, because he's small and on the other side of a large desk.
Oh, I immediately, the moment I notice him, I shout out what I put in Foundry.
Oh, you yell that? And he hears you, goes,
Yeah.
Oh, hello, good to see you.
and he jumps up on the desk again. He's like,
Oh, welcome to Iron Ledger Hold. How can Scrindle help today?
Question, would Rhea have also known the name?
has Rhea been here before?
She does have a vault.
Then yes, you would know
We
Scrindle.
established
Yeah,
this.
anyone. That's right. Anyone who has been here before, Scrindle is basically the front of house worker. So anyone who's been here would have met him.
I think all of us except for Pipwick have been.
Okay.
No,
I don't think
Kyria-
Tippy has either.
Yeah, Kyria hasn't
Oh.
been here. Tippy hasn't been here.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Grigor hasn't
right.
been here. Yeah.
I thought Grigor's been there.
I think we're basically half and half with the party.
It's about dead even split at this point. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And basically, what you see in front of you. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can just show you guys what you guys see. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
I'm not sure if you described it this time, but in my notes, I have that in the lobby ceiling there's a big bell.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you. There is a large brass bell that sits high up in the rotunda, dead center. Thank you. I forgot about that. Oh, I can't just show you. That's dumb. I have to add it as a thing. I'll just do this. If you guys look in the Discord chat, this is more or less, this is what you see. Those of you who have not met him before.
Yep, he looks pretty much how I imagined him.
Yep, that's what he looks like. And he's standing on top of the desk, so he's about eye level with most of you guys. And Pipwick, you see a well-dressed red kobold standing there, and every kobold you've ever met barely wears clothes, let alone a suit and spectacles. And it's very clear the suit.
Hat to him.
Yeah, he kind of he nods back. Nice to meet you. Name's Grindel. And he kind of points and taps his chest and nods slightly.
Hey, I'm Pipwick, soon to be city councilor.
Oh, pleasure. Nice to meet government officials. What can Grindel do for you today?
I need to open my vault.
Oh, of course.
No, visit.
Yes,
I
of course.
also need to look through mine.
Oh, yes. No problem. Reed's help yours.
And he jumps down and straightens and tries to adjust his coat that still is too big for him, and says,
Come. Follow Grindel.
And leads you off in the direction of that large opening in the same journey that some of you have taken before. However, for those of you who've not been here, as he starts to lead you through this walkway, it has this subtle downward spiral it starts to take. Pipwick, as you glance on your left, you notice there's these large portraits of goblin figures in very elegant clothes and nice attire. You see one of an elderly, matronly-like goblin figure. You see you see several more of male goblin figures of various physical statures and attire and levels of class, essentially. However, they all seem to have a slight familiarity to each one of them, as if there's some sort of familial relation to each one of them. At the bottom of all of them, you see their names inscribed on a gold placard encased in wood that's underneath each one. And so you see Matron Vristic, Rizabank Emberquill Vristic, Grun Lockjaw Kritsk, Yurga Vritsk, and then the last one you see is your buddy Skrindel here in his own, and he is smiling and beaming wide in his painting, and you see Skrindel, not Vritsk, in the wood and gold placard. And he continues to lead everybody down the spiral stairway or spiral walkway, and
This is my kind of place.
We high-end establishments, very oh
my gosh, I can't think of the word. It's gone. Anyways,
very, very good establishments.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as we come up on the painting, or the portrait of Skrindel, Dax is gonna look over at it. Is it straight?
Yes, they're all straight.
Okay. Because if not, she was gonna adjust it like she's seen Skrindel do.
Oh no, they are all very straight this time. You've noticed he's probably come through here once before and fixed it since you've been here.
Okay.
Yep.
Never mind that.
I will say, as you get close to adjust it and realize it doesn't need adjusting, you do notice that there's a smudge on his name placard, though.
I wipe the smudge off.
And he sees, oh, thank you. And as they keep walking. And this is a short walk. It's not a very long walk to get down to the various layers. And as you guys walk, you notice that at various points throughout this walkway, there's a large, metal door at various levels that appear that they stop and create some sort of floor underneath the building. And he leads you down several floors till you get to the floor that you guys remembered. Getting to the one, opens the metal door, walks you into the circular space with the vault doors that go out from that circular space. And you can each go to your respective vaults as you wish. I know that you said Talina and Hellraya would go to theirs. I don't know if Dax needs to go to hers as well.
No, Dax has no need to go to hers, so she kind of just she follows Rhea and then kind of just hangs out in the area as Rhea does what Rhea needs to do.
Okay.
You guys, Talina would wave Dax and Grigor to follow her.
Okay. Grigor, you see this, and Grigor, you're kind of taken in by this weird sort of space. The best way I can describe it is the floor that you're on feels very bank vault-y, but then you see these, for Pipwick and Grigor and anyone else who doesn't remember, each one of these, so the floor has several of these large, heavy iron doors with these large, it looks to be like a lock, like a spinning lock in the middle, but there's no sort of combination area. There's no keyhole. There's no lever or anything like that. But each of these doors is built into this stone-like wall, and there's several of them kind of span this circular space. But in front of each one of the doors is a runic symbol embedded on the floor in a square tile about 8 feet back from each of the doors. And as you get waved over from Talina, she, I assume, steps on the tile.
Yes.
Yeah, and as she steps on the tile, the rune glows slightly, and the door in front opens and swings out towards you guys, and just on its own just moves with no sort of manipulation.
I'm gonna try to not have it open fully because I don't want people to look in.
Okay, so yeah, you step off of it as it's about the halfway or quarter mark, and it stops as soon as you step off the tile.
I have a debt to settle with you too, so come in and get your money.
Dax would follow.
I am waiting for confirmation of Grigor.
Grigor signs in a strange sort of thieves' it's thieves' can't, but it's, yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yep. And Grigor basically, yes, very much so. Oh,
I don't understand that either yet.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought it said size. Signs, it said size. My apologies. Yes, it's in a language that none of you recognize.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's thieves' can't. We have a problem because I can't understand it.
My bad.
Same. But
I misread
Thieves
it.
can't understand it is what that is.
But
Anyway, I grab a scroll from deep in my bag, unroll it a little bit, or break the seal and unroll it a little bit just to read it, and start counting out some coins from the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand over. Did Grigor follow in?
Yes.
I count out 3,000 gold and hand it to Grigor.
Okay, so you can go ahead and deduct 3,000 from your vault page.
Yeah.
And Grigor, you can add 3,000 gold to your page.
Before I hand it off, I put it aside and go, "This is yours. It can remain here if you want, or you can take it with you."
Probably best to keep it here, because that's a lot of coin.
And then, as you say, we should.
It's
keep
your
it here.
money. Take as much as you want. As I just shoved that pile onto a different shelf because it's not that full in here.
Mm-hmm. It's a very empty room. As you say, leave it here. You hear from outside in the main hall. Do we need another vault?
Where's Grigor?
He is. I mean, it was directed at Grigor or Talina, just whoever was in there talking. I'm gonna.
No, not right now.
Oswell. And you hear tip tap as he kind of steps away from the vault door again.
And I'm counting out another pile of 2,900. Or wait, no, I can't do that. Almost 3,000 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes, actually, takes 2 gold off and puts 4 silver in. And goes, "This is how much I owe you, Dax." Same question. She puts the pile on that same shelf as Grigor's, but definitely separated. This is yours. Take as much as little as you want.
Dax reaches into one of the pockets on her jacket and pulls out a empty little coin bag.
Mm-hmm.
And she gently kind of scoops it all up and places it in the coin bag. And she does it, and she grabs all of her coin. And once it's all in the bag, she ties it up. Thanks. I'll put it in my vault. And with that, she takes the coin bag and makes her way over to her vault.
Okay.
Where she opens it up and throws the coin bag in on one of the shelves before leaving.
Okay, yeah. Same thing. Walk over, step on the tile, door opens. Same thing.
Quick mechanic question here. I did move everything to Rhea's vault,
Okay.
but I just need to delete it from Rhea's character sheet. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, if you've just dragged it and
Okay.
dropped it over to the vault page that you guys should have, then you'll just delete it from your sheet. So let me double check that the inventory here is correct. What did you drag over to your vault so I can make sure it's here?
All those gemstones.
Yeah, they're all there, yep.
Stuff. Okay.
Yep, just make sure that the quantities are correct between both sheets, and then, yeah, you can delete them from your sheet. Cool.
They were. I dragged them over and it kept the quantities, so.
Cool. Sounds good.
Am I able to add things to my sheet?
The best way to do it is to drag and drop. If you're just adding currency, you can just type into the currency portion of your ledger hold vault.
I don't see my ledger hold vault.
Well, let me make sure you've got ownership. Hold on a second. Oh, you don't have ownership. That's weird. Hold on. There you go.
Why is my... Okay, my foundry is super light yellow, so...
There you go. Go ahead and... so if you look under players in the actors tab and everything, you should see a ledger hold vault for yourself now.
Yes.
Yep. So you can just type in the amount that needs to go into your vault.
For notating, Rhea would have continued to her vault after Talena and the other two had stopped. I don't know if our little kobold friend was leading her there or just like letting her go to her vault.
Yeah, everyone can make their way to their vaults. He's just kind of waiting respectfully if anything is needed from him before he like takes you back upstairs.
Okay. I'm assuming the vault isn't too much further away from them.
No, your guys' vaults, for ease of simplicity, are all on the same floor. So they're all within, like, sight line of each other.
So as Rhea enters hers, she'll leave the little bitty pouch that she definitely legitimately got from a safe into her ledger hold.
Okay, that's fine.
Are either Dax or Grigor looking around the vault room as she's counting out these coins?
Well, Dax has returned back over to her vault with the coins, so...
Yeah, well, I meant before that, like, while she was
I
in
gotcha.
the room.
Yeah.
No,
If so, I'm gonna share a screenshot of what's in there.
No, Dax has no need to look around, so she just grabs what you gave her and heads over to her vault to put it away.
Okay. While everybody's kind of doing their clerical work here, Pipwick, is there anything that, like, because this is all very, like, you've never been to a location like this ever. This is all very unique. But something that you do notice is that throughout the architecture feels vaguely kind of reminiscent of your culture. Would anything would you be looking for anything specific, or would anything be like puzzling you or be of interest to you?
I guess I'm like looking for like names and stuff, seeing if I recognize any names.
Well, you saw those names on the paintings. Outside of that, there's been no other names written anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at that point I'm just kind of spinning in circles, looking around at everything.
Okay, I will actually say, roll me a history check real quick.
Gotcha.
I also just realized I spelled one of the characters' names wrong. So. Okay. So
That tracks.
Yeah, no. So with a 3, you don't recognize any of the names like in any sort of familiar sense, like you know any of them. But even with a 3, you do recognize that the last name Vritzk, Vritzk, is actually like a very famous last name amongst goblin kind, and that the family Vritzk or clan Vritzk has always been a very lengthy history of being money keepers, of being those that made their notoriety, not their notoriety, their fame and their fortune and their name, their mark on history, so to speak, by being money holders, by being those that dealt in the business of money.
Just got an idea.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna hate it.
Oh Lord. I need to fix
I'll
this.
kind of go up to the kobold.
Yeah, he's just standing there.
Hey, does the Risk family, do they still live around here?
You mean, like Matron Risk and family?
Yeah.
Yes, this their establishment. We is work for them.
I mean, I figure they might have houses elsewhere too, but
Oh, I see what you mean. They live here in Hazel Hill.
is there how would I go about setting up a meeting with them? As I kind of mentioned to you, I'm running for city council, and I wanted to get an endorsement of, not only a powerful figure in the city, but also someone that understands the struggles that I'm running for.
Oh,
He kind of scratched his head.
we is check schedule, see if they have opening.
Yeah, please. That would be awesome.
Yes, when complete here, we just take you upstairs and we just check schedule.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
And he kind of gives a little nod. He kind of glances around to see if anybody's still in their vaults or if everybody's done.
Selena will be locking up.
Okay. And what you guys all
Dax
notice.
already locked up.
Brilliant. What about Rhea?
Rhea's gonna be finished with her time getting everything in there.
Beautiful.
Would regroup with everybody.
Okay. So what you notice, Grigor and Pipwick and Tippy would as well if she was here, is that they never touch the door in any way. The only thing that you guys notice is as they step on tiles, that there's one inside the vault and one outside the vault that match. Whenever they step on those tiles, the door reacts to their presence. However, what you do notice, Pipwick, actually roll me a perception check, Pipwick, since you are, since Tippy is not here. And actually, Grigor, you've never been here either. You can also roll me a perception check. Okay, so what do we have for you? We have a 15 for Pipwick. We have a 15. Oh, we have 15, perfect. Both of you guys noticed the same thing, which is whenever, so when Grigor entered Talina's vault, Grigor, you stepped on a tile inside that matched outside and nothing happened. And then you stepped on the same tile by accident when you were leaving the vault, nothing happened. But when Talina stepped on it, it reacted and closed. And Pipwick, you picked up on this as well.
That's fancy.
Yes, all vaults are soul-bound. They are soul-locked vaults.
I look at the three that have come out of vaults. It sounds painful.
He kind of, Scrindle kind of cocks his head as he sees you do that.
What?
Why would it be painful?
I mean, I don't understand the process, but binding your soul to something doesn't sound like it would feel great.
It's just a contract.
Yes.
Oh.
It's very, very painless.
He, like, Scrindle looks genuinely confused by, like, he doesn't understand why this would be painful.
Like I said, I wouldn't know the better. Just soulbound sounds heavy.
No heavy, no, very light. We designed this so that even in death, you still access your belongings.
I kind of like spin around. How fucking big is this place then?
Many floors.
Yes.
Goes deep.
I would hope so.
Yes.
Kind of like, I like walk up to one of the vaults. Keeping one of these around even when you're dead. Just getting buried with your money. It's typical.
Scrindle looks confused.
No.
Yes, why not?
Also, one doesn't need to get buried in their vault.
Yes,
In fact,
no. We no take bodies. No dead people. Only souls
It's a
can come
figure
and
of
go.
speech. It's a figure of speech.
Oh, okay. Scrindle no understand. Apologies.
Anyways, and he kind of like gestures to the door, like indicating like we ready to go. Very well. Follow us. And he leads you back upstairs, up the circular wind, back up into the top floor where the office is, where the foyer is at, and brings you back into the main chamber there. He says, one moment, and we check schedule. And he hops behind the desk, and you hear him flutter through. And as you kind of like catch a look, the scheduling book is almost twice as big as he is, so he has to like grab a whole paper with like two hands and flip it over, and is like doing this huge motion to get thing going back and forth. And he seems to look through, and it's here that we're going to end the session, as he's looking for details on a meeting. Understood. Tyrope, cool. All right, yeah. That'll be the end of this session. We'll pick it up again, presumably next week.
Presumably
Sounds
next
good.
week. Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to get right to the top of the hour. It looks like we made it right on the nose, which is great. So.
Yeah, I was starting to crash a little bit too.
Everybody's getting EP, so even me. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks very much for everybody's watching. Archivist, it was always good to have you here, and everyone else as well. Thank you, Lost Knights, for the raid. Thank you, McWimpy and Lazy Cheetah for the follows. Much appreciated, guys. As well as Lost Knights for the follow as well. But yeah, thank you, everybody. We will pick this up again next session. Also, for those of you who watch, our in-person D&D game with my other group is going to be live on Sunday. We are meeting again this weekend. We're down one player, but that's okay. So we'll be playing again. That'll be on the YouTube channel this Sunday. So if anyone wants to watch that, hop on over for that one. But thanks, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Bye.